And we are live. Welcome everybody to the Monday call. We got this one off right. I'm super happy to have everybody on here, man. It has been an incredible time. Man, I'm super flattered. First off, let me say thank you guys. I know for some people in this space, it's not a big deal, but for me to get 20 million views on YouTube is huge for me. So I want to say I appreciate that. Also, 38 million uses of my name, a hashtag. So people use it 38 million times last month, which is fucking crazy. When I saw that number on TikTok, they did that on TikTok. So I want to say thank you guys for that, man. It's been awesome. I don't know what 2% means, but anyway, I want to say thank you guys for that. A couple things I want to go over real quick. If you guys are interested in coming to Las Vegas, for those of you who are here for immersion, if you guys are in immersion, you can put a 1 in the chat, let people know you're in immersion. That's the in real life program that I teach 1 week a month, where guys come out here and then I coach them for an entire week. That's a lot of fun. Next month, however, immersion is going to include, this is going to be in July. Immersion, actually, let me see if I can get it right here. Immersion is going to include the Girls of Summer Bikini Competition at Wet Republic, which I am the host of. We recruit 200 girls to do this. It's $60,000. It is the most outrageous thing in the world. And yes, guys, the only problem is that you can't call them 304s on a live chat. You have to do it to their face because all of this is in real life. So unfortunately, that's the only thing that's a little different. Yeah, I'm going to be hosting this. We got 200 girls coming. It's going to be an exciting time. A couple of the things that's going to be happening in the next couple of days. I got Mike Rashid. He's going to be coming on my show on Friday. On Monday is going to be daddy issues. A girl named Violetta Benson. It's not the typical stuff. It's not red pill stuff. She's way more blue pill, but it's going to be a pretty interesting conversation. And then the following Wednesday, I'm going to be interviewing most likely Robert Kiyosaki, and I'm going to be interviewing Brad Lee the following Wednesday. So if you guys are interested in that, those are all going to be pre-recorded. We're not going to do any of those live, but we're going to have those coming out soon. And then, like I said, Access Vegas will be the following. It's going to be the 29th. It will be Access Vegas. And then on the 30th will be the very first round of the bikini competition at Wet Republic. This is the 12th year they've done a bikini competition at Wet Republic. Every year, it's the biggest one in the entire world. And if you guys want an excuse to go up to a super hot girl and be like, hey, you want to come hang out? This is the one to do it. To say, hey, my buddy's throwing a $60,000 bikini competition, so let's do it. Yes, it's Bradley part 2. I was hanging out with Brad the other day. A couple things I do want to go over, we'll discuss at some point, is I don't know if you've seen the video of, if you guys want to pull up No Jumper, if somebody wants to pull it up for me, one of the co-hosts, the video from No Jumper of Conor McGregor, the woman who has accused him of sexual assault. Apparently, there's a video of her hanging out with him, having a great time after the alleged incident happened. And you might also notice that she's about 300 pounds. I'm going to guess maybe this is all bullshit. I don't know. I don't want to offend too many people, but this looks like one of the most blatant Amber Heard situations that I've ever seen. You also guys saw that punter the other day who was charged with rape of a minor. And it turns out she made up the whole thing, and it ruined his career. His first 3 years in his career, he wasn't able to do anything. There was also that defensive tackle from Baylor who was going to be the first pick in the draft. And he was then charged and convicted with rape, and it turned out he was also not guilty, and it ended his NFL career. It took about 8 years for them to finally figure out that he was innocent. So we're seeing some of this stuff happen. Listen, I'm not saying, obviously, often when people accuse someone of rape, most of the time it's true. We just have to understand whether or not it's true or whether or not it's false. It doesn't matter what their political convictions are. I had a girl hit me up the other day, and because she doesn't like the words that Andrew Tate says, she thinks it's more likely he's guilty. Be careful, guys. We can't do that. We can't think someone's innocent because we like what they say, and we can't think someone's guilty because we don't like what they say. We have to let things stand on the facts, okay? And then when you look at the facts of the case in Romania, you see they're pretty much no fucking facts. So that's an interesting fact right there. One other thing I want to talk about, if the MLD and me, our boy, Adam Sosnick, he lost his Instagram yesterday. Instagram took it away with no warning. He did not violate terms of service. They did not allow him to appeal. He appealed, and they permanently deleted his account. The reason I want to bring this up is because he didn't violate terms of service. The only thing that Adam Sosnick did was interview Andrew Tate and start showing a bunch of clips on it. I think they probably went after PBD's account too, but PBD's at 1 million. So I think it's going to be a little easier for them to get rid of his account. Yeah, he did that interview with Andrew Tate. If you guys want to discuss anything with the Andrew Tate or Tristan Tate interview, I'd love to discuss it on here. I actually messaged a guy who's an executive at Instagram today, and I said, hey, man, from going forward, just so I know, if I mention Andrew Tate on Instagram, am I going to have my account taken down? And his response is, we can't discuss things at work. I don't know. If I was a company and I was possibly violating free speech, I might defend my company. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. All right. So we're going to get to some questions and then we're going to go into some of these topics, but I want to start off with some of the questions. Also, Dax, if you guys are in MOA, please wait till the second hour before you ask your questions. If you're in MOA, if you want to, I would prefer if the guys who are in MOA Advanced to just like wait, but you guys can also help me answer questions by writing it in the chat and I will unmute you. Dax, you're the first question up, man. What's the question? And MLD, we'll get to you next. Only Dax, where you at? Unmute yourself, Dax.
Okay, how you doing, Michael?
What's going on, brother?
Good. So, about 3 years ago, right around when the cough started, I started doing boxing as a hobby, and I built a brand of about 940,000 followers on it on TikTok. Now I'm trying to see how I can help other boxers, martial artists, fighters, coaches, personal trainers to grow their social media. I just need to figure out how to price it.
So I'm going to have to mute you, Docs, because I can hear myself. So one of the issues is with this type of situation, the main thing I would do is find other people in this industry and find things that are comparably priced. When we first started MOA, we really thought we were overcharging people. And then we went and looked at what the rest of the industry does. And we were vastly undercharging people. And we still are, compared to, like, if you guys look at what a year for Apex is, it's $48,000 a year. It's 48,000 for Dan Fleischman's a thing. It's $100K a year to be in his event, in his whole deal. You guys get 9 hours with me every week. Okay. They get 1 hour with Stuman or Dan Fleischman a month. They get 1 hour a month. Okay. We were vastly undercharging. And so we still kind of are compared to the rest of the people. Because remember, guys, we're not a dating company. This is a self-help course. And we also help you with a lot of other things, as far as leadership is concerned and social networking. So because of that, that's how we figured out what the supply and demand was. What I'll tell you is Dan Fleischman told me this one time. He goes, you can always start low and raise your price. And I've heard other people say you can start high and lower your price. I have not found either one of those things to be true. We have absolutely had things that were too high priced and lowered them. We just recently did that. And we've absolutely had things that were too low priced and raised the price. And the other thing I'm going to tell you this, Dax, this was the most important thing that I learned. I learned this from David D'Angelo. I learned this from a bunch of people. Free. How much free content can you put out to promote your paid content? Like the call you're on right now. Do you understand? Oh, sorry, Dax, my bad. I keep forgetting that this is like this. And Dax, looks like we lost Dax. Okay. Anyway, yeah, that's the main thing I'm going to tell you guys is that it's going to be a function of free content. That's going to be like the main limiting factor for the whole situation. Let me do this real quick. Hey, MLD, is that you?
Yeah, it's me. It's me. Can you hear me?
Yeah. What's going on, brother? Talk to me. What's happening with you?
I'm just over here in London. I've been doing just pearly things, and I'm laying. It's like it's 1 o'clock in the morning here. So
so it's dark. It's dark where you are. Oh, it's all good. Yeah. So what the thing is with John is John has 2 Japanese women in bed with him right now, and he doesn't want to like show them to us. And I understand, bro, because we're on YouTube. I understand. Oh, damn, no, you don't have to hide the Japanese women for us. It's all good, bro. Well, I understand how it works. It's fine, dude. I've done that before. There was a couple of times. Hold on, is my girlfriend listening? Hold on. Yeah, there was a couple of times where I had to do one-on-one calls, and it was like, oh, don't mind them. It's like you know how it is. I know. I'm sure John knows how it is.
I just wanted to pop in here and just tell everybody how legit you are and how much of like a solid man you are behind the scenes too. Like, I didn't know who you were when you came on the scene, but then when I saw you destroy Destiny with Rolo on that debate, and then just meeting you and just seeing all like the high quality women that you brought around, because the women that you brought on Fresh and Fit too, not only were they like stunningly gorgeous, but I mean, these girls are decent people who are really smart too. On top of that, they like people just look at them and think like, oh, she's just a dumb girl with big tits or whatever. But no, man, these girls were quality women. I was talking to them. I got along really well with one of them, and I just wanted to come on here and just tell you that you're doing an amazing service. And if you guys have any doubt about this guy, that's just probably a testimony to how much you don't know about women, and don't take that as an offense. Like, this guy is operating at such a high level, you guys can't even comprehend it.
Man, I really appreciate that, man. And John, if you're ever in Vegas and want to come out while we're having the contest, you can come too and meet some more of these quality women.
Yeah, I'm gonna be on No Jumper next week, so I'm gonna be in LA, but I'm just popping in and out, and then I'm gonna be. Me and Rollo on filming the same day, actually.
Oh, No Jumper, yeah, that's right. Rollo, tell me about that. That's awesome.
Yeah, but I just wanted to pop in and say what's up for a little bit, and I just see what you were doing. But this is great, man. These guys, this as much as you're giving away this for free, it shouldn't be. Like, this is super high value stuff. So you guys better pay attention.
I appreciate it, man. John, you're the best, man. I appreciate that.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I'm gonna pop out, but I just wanted to just shout you out and say thanks for everything in Miami. You're a great guy.
Nice, man. Thank you, brother. Yeah, man. Get back to sleep and tell Pearl I said what's up.
All right, peace out.
Take care. Nice, man. That was cool. All right, God, I appreciate that. Yeah, John went on a couple of episodes of he was on he came and did our show, Rule Zero here in Vegas, and then he did Fresh and Fit with us also. So let's get to this thing. Spotlight for everyone. Fashat, what's going on, man? Let me go ahead and unmute you. What's your question, brother?
Hey, first of all, hi from Hamburg, Germany.
Okay. Hey, wait, hold on. Hey, right. Okay. If you speak German or you're from Germany or Austria, we're going to count Austria, put Germany in the chat. Bro, I don't know what it is about my program, and I'm not complaining, but we're getting to the point where like a quarter of the guys at MOA right now are from Germany. It is crazy. All the dudes from Germany, you speak German or whatever that are in MOA, put Germany, write Germany in the chat. Go ahead, Fashat. What's your question?
Yeah, I guess you're making good marketing. Yeah, so my question is, I have 3 simple questions. First of all is, so I'm preparing myself to join MOA, and the first step I took is I deleted almost every pictures from my Instagram, and I am planning to make photos with a female friend of mine. And the first question for me is, should I just tell her to take the photos, or should I also tell her how I imagine it? Like you said, from this winkel, like the girls who see this picture has to think that I have high status. Should I really tell her everything, or should I just tell her, yeah, just take the photos?
No, it's copy and paste. Fashat, that's a good question. It's just I'm going to see if I can pull it up right now. Instagram testimonials. Instagram testimonials. Let me see it right here. Okay. I'm going to pull this up. So Fashat, if you want to look at my screen right now, this is what I want you to do. By the way, this is on the free side. If you want to check it out. By the way, guys, I was going to have Adam Sosnick join us today. He's in Tel Aviv right now because I wanted to talk to him. But I just want to let you know Adam was going to come on. I was going to have him on, but he's unfortunately not going to be able to join us. So watch this. So check this out right now. These, Fashat, I want you to pick which one of these you like the best and then copy exactly what they're doing. You don't need to explain to anybody why you're doing this. You just need to say, I want mine to look like this. So you're going to go to Vincent Del Toro and say, hey, you know what? I want an incredible IG, but I want one that doesn't show a ton of girls on it. So you would have one like Vincent. Okay. I don't know if this is popping up or not. Let me see if this is Vincent's.
We can see it, Mike. You're good.
Okay, cool. So you guys see Vincent's account. Do you see this, Fashat? Can you make one that looks exactly, you don't have to explain to her why. Can you make a photo that looks exactly like this? Do you understand?
Mm.
So for those of you who are wondering, there are 30 Instagram testimonials that are on the free school server that any of you have access to anytime you want. This is not a paid thing. These are guys who are in Men of Action or were in Men of Action, and we're using them as a testimonial. For those guys, actually, I was going to find one of the German guys. Let me see if I can find one of the German guys. What's up? Is Hassan? I think Hassan might be in Germany.
Use Matt Alvarez.
Huh? Oh, Matt Alvarez. Yeah. No, the thing about Matt though is his is all coaching. Is he? No, I don't. Maybe he's not in Germany. But here's another one. No. Matt, this dude is in Germany. Yeah, he's from Germany. Like, look at this. Can you do this, Fashat? Can you make something like this?
It's possible, definitely.
It's in Berlin, right? This is something in Berlin. So what I want you to understand is the point is not, you don't need to explain to the photographer why you're doing it. It is simply copy. Step number 1 in Men of Action is fix your fucking Instagram. That is taught when you join the course. It's literally in the first part over here. One of the first things, as soon as you join, you have access to the free course, the first 4 steps. It also gives you all the books in the book list, and it also gives you all the Instagram testimonials. Got it?
Yes. Probably also should upload it every 2 days, because uploading all the photos in one day doesn't look very nice.
Maybe not one day, but like I got how many followers you have? Probably not that many, right? For shot.
Yeah.
Okay. It doesn't matter. Tree falls in the woods and nobody hears it. The point is not to get a ton of followers. The point of this whole situation is to be able to is when people check out who you are, when you message them because you want them to come to your event, you actually want to look like somebody they want to hang out with. Understand?
Sure. Okay. The second question is, so my first plan was originally to learn a skill and then join the MOA coaching, because I thought I would feel more comfortable by having some value. Then I read one of your emails where you said you don't have to get the idea where you have to be rich to build a social group. It's rather like by building a social group, you learn how to get rich, something like that, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. So I think what you're talking about is the idea of you don't need, one of the things we try to do in this course that's really important that I want to make sure that everybody understands is different from other courses is often when people see my content, their first retort is, well, obviously you have that content because you're rich. And one of the main things I want you guys to understand is that I spent no money creating this environment, zero. In fact, the club that we were at, they paid for everything for us to be there. We don't use money in order to create these environments. Now, that doesn't mean you can't use money. The point is we want to do it first without using money so that when you do have money, it's just fuel to the fire. We want you to learn how to talk to women without using money. We want you to learn how to network without using money. We want you to learn how to grow your social media without using money. We want you to learn how to do all these things without using money first, right? It's almost like going to a personal trainer and you start taking steroids before you go to the gym. No, go to the gym first. Get your physique right. Figure out how to work out. I'm not recommending anyone take steroids, but I'm just saying, like, it's kind of that, like, you guys are doing it backwards. People like lead with money too much. In your situation, what'll happen is when you learn these skills, the reason why we do this with attractive women so much is because when you can do it with attractive women for shot, everything else is easier. And maybe you guys, anybody in the chat who wants to speak up and has a testimonial about this, when you first try to do this with Instagram models, it's hard because they have such low attention spans. What happens is later, when you try to do the same thing with a real estate agent, he has a big attention span. Getting real estate agents to come to your party is a joke if you can get 300 girls to show up. If you get 300 girls to show up, that's hard work. You have to constantly be posting shit on social media. Look here, girl. Look here. Woo, woo, woo. Look here. You're constantly trying to get their attention. This is what it's like trying to get influencers. If you do that, when you have a guy who like literally makes money from networking, like a real estate agent, hey, John, would you like to come? He goes, I'll be there at 7:30 on time in a suit, no questions asked, don't have to reconfirm. The motherfucker will be there. So when you network with men, you're going to find that it's like 50% easier than networking with attractive women. Make sense?
Sure. I also realized that, for example, if I talk to pretty girls, most of the time, if they are not single, if I know they have a boyfriend, I have such an easy time to talk to them and have fun. But if they're single, I get sometimes nervous. So
the trick is to do that all the time. So here's kind of the description, right? Where pickup kind of gets it wrong is they're like, I need to show up and show intent. So let's do this instead. Let's not show intent. Let's show value. Let's not show intent. Let's show value. What guys do is like, they have this weird belief that women sleep with men because of their intent. Women do not sleep with you because of your intent. They sleep with you because of your status. They sleep with you because of your value. So what I want you to do is, like, you go out with a big group of girls, and when you go out with this big group of girls and you're like, how do I get a big group of girls? It's very easy. Like it's the first 4 steps in MOA. It's like one of the first things we teach you how to do when you join the course. When you're going to go out with a big group of girls, and what you're going to do the whole time when you're with them is you're just going to show value the whole time. It's just value, value, value. And you're not going to show any specific intent to any of them. You're just going to show value to all of them. And you're going to start noticing that at 1 or 2 of them start showing intent towards you, which is going to make the rest of them feel attraction towards you. This is not my theory. This is not some weird pickup shit. This is called mate choice copying from the field of evolutionary psychology, a very tested fundamental idea in evolutionary psychology. Okay, Fashat, does that make sense?
Of course, yeah.
So if you have, like, if you guys, the superpower, like, you guys have ever met a girl who just isn't your type, then make her your friend. if you meet a girl and she's like let's just say you have a homegirl and this homegirl knows a bunch of other girls, but she just like, you like big fake boobs and she doesn't have big fake boobs. And so what you do is like, hey, friend zone, high five. What's up, friend? What up, homie? It's like, hey, I'm going to go do this charity thing. Can you bring like 20 of your female friends with you? And she's like, of course. Love you, Michael. We'll come support you. You guys can friend zone each other. She's not your type. It doesn't matter. But the idea is like, well, she's not my type. Therefore, my penis doesn't go inside of her. So fuck her because I'm a PUA and all I care about, I'm hardcore red pill and all I care about is putting my dick in these hoes. And like, no, dude, like chill out. Women introduce you to other women. Women calibrate you towards other women. Women give you access to the best parties and the best networking. If you don't believe me about that, please consume the book, Very Important People by Dr. Ashley Mears of Boston University. What these men do is they get access to these high status events by always bringing women. Yes. You guys understand? We're the dude, like, I get invited to every party because everyone knows that I'm going to show up to the party with at least 6 girls. And here's the other thing. It's not that I feel pressure from them to show up to the party with 6 girls. I would never be caught dead going to a party without bringing 6 girls. Why would I even go to a party where 6 girls wouldn't want to go with me? That sounds like a shitty fucking party. When you bring 10 girls to your guys, when you're to one of your friends' birthday party, you're doing them a favor. If I was like for instance, I see Justin Wells, Jack A, Luke Chase. If I bring 10 girls to your birthday party, I'm doing you a favor. If I bring 100 girls to your birthday party, you're doing me a favor. That means your birthday party is the shit. That means I'm going to the Maxim party. I'm going to Dan Bilzerian's house. That means I'm going to the Playboy Mansion. If you ask Steve Fowler, here, write it in the chat if you know the answer. If you ask Steve Fowler, Steve, is it easier for you to bring 10 girls to a party or 100 girls to the party? What does Steve Fowler write? What does Steve Fowler say? Write it in the chat if you guys know. Is it easier? There you go. They know it. It's 100. It is easier for me to bring 100 girls to a party than for me to bring 10. I don't know how to bring 10. I know how to bring 100 because here's the way it works. When you have to only bring 10, you don't know which 10 are going to show up. People flake. But when you invite like 1,000, then what'll happen is you'll get 25 that say they're going to come and they tell their friends. And then next thing you know, you have 100 show up. That's the way, for those who, any guys on this call who've ever been a club promoter, you know, this is how it works. So that's the way it works. It's impossible for me to get 10 girls to come to shit. It's way easier for me to get 100. Okay. Again, another thing we teach in MOA. Make sense, Fashat?
Sure. Thank you. I have the last question then. It's more like a personal question.
Yeah.
You said, for example, female friends are good in this, and I totally agree. I also made very good experiences with that. My question is, because you were a lot of times in the Fresh and Fit podcast, and they say more like female friends having is they don't get value.
Fashat,
did you have a conversation with them?
Right. So yeah. So I did. So Fashat, what they're talking about is men getting friend zoned. When women are then like absconding with value from you and not giving you anything back, I totally agree with them. That's number one. And number two, most guys who are not around attractive women are going to have a hard time being friends with females that they find attractive. I don't have that issue because I'm always around women, so that's not a problem. But the thing is, if you go back and look at those 30 Instagram profiles that I just showed you, you're going to see that those guys that are in my course, they also don't have problems being friends with women because they're constantly surrounded by women. And those women are bringing them other women. If that's something that's too much of a hassle for you, I totally understand. But if you're joining my networking course, then it's not going to be something. It's almost like saying, I want to get bigger muscles, but I don't feel like going to the gym. If you want to get better at like throwing incredible events, getting invited to incredible events and networking with like really high status people, attractive women are a huge component of it. Guys who already know this game, they're fully aware. Like if I was having this discussion with Jason Strauss or Noah Tepperberg or Ron Nicoli or any of like the nightlife groups, the heads of the nightlife groups here, they would 100% agree with what I'm saying. Having attractive women makes people want to invite you to parties. It gets you access to the Playboy Mansion. It gets you, but here's the thing, right? You want to go to the Met Gala. Well, you go to the Met Gala, you're going to bump into Elon Musk. You want to go to CES, you're going to bump into Jeff Bezos. Like you're going to bump into some of these people at these huge conferences. But the reason why I'll give you an example. Was it Elon Musk who was backstage at Burning Man one time? There was like a video of him backstage at Burning Man. Well, how do you motherfuckers think you're getting backstage at Burning Man? Just curious. What do you think you guys are going to, you think you're just going to buy a ticket to go backstage? No, the guys who get invited backstage at Burning Man are the dudes with girls, period. If you didn't know that, you know it now. Okay. Make sense?
Sure, man.
Nice.
Thank you.
Let's go. Appreciate it, man. Let's go to Jack. What's your 1 second. What's your question, Jack? And unmute. Got to unmute yourself, Jack.
There we are.
There we go,
Hello.
Jack. What's going on?
Hi, look, I found your content about a week ago. I've been obsessed with it ever since. So excited to be on the call and show my face and get involved.
Appreciate it.
I've started on steps 1 and 2. I'm not part of your paid course yet, so I'm sorry if some of these questions are answered there. But is it important to have your full name on your Instagram handle?
No, it's important it's important to have a full name. It's important to have a full name. Maybe not your full name, but you definitely need some full name to go on there, because one of the problems is when your Instagram handle is like $, fun time guy king _ whatever the fuck. You guys think that it's cute, but it's not cute. People can never find you.
Right. Okay.
They just can't find you. Having something that's very easy for them to understand. Now, if you've completely adopted a moniker like Rollo Tomasi, then go with Rollo Tomasi, because that's the moniker that he's adopted.
So
That's
it could be
fine.
a stage name.
Yeah, stage name is fine. The stage name is fine, but it's just what you want. What you don't want. The point of like using complicated, not using complicated Instagram handles, it's kind of outdated, because what happened was your IG handle was what was at the top of your IG before, and they didn't have like a separate name, and now they do. So like your name is, you can search by name or you can search by IG handle now. And so it's not that big of a deal, but I still think it's a big deal, because when you copy and paste IG handles, like in spreadsheets, like when you're doing invites or whatever, I like to have simple names. Simple names are way better.
Cool. So when I'm looking at creating my hot list, I know some of the girls I look through have, say they're represented somehow. Does that matter in adding them to the list? No. Great. And then with events, I've never been much of a clubber, and I'm asking this purely out of ignorance. Are there high value events you can invite people to that don't involve clubbing or going to?
So the six main event types. Again, normally I would just unmute all the guys and then just have them answer this. But the 6 main event types, Jack, is going to be the competition. So like maybe a bikini competition or a beauty pageant. It's going to be the theme party. Okay. It's going to be the list party. So the top 30 under 30 is a list party. Also, Babes in Toyland is kind of a list party, because you get to walk the red carpet. It's going to be a charity or gala, right? It's going to be a promoter competition, some kind of like, it's going to be a photo shoot, or it's going to be a container event. Those are the 6 types. Container event is, hey, 6 girls come over to my place. We play Never Have I Ever. Girls drink tequila while we watch a movie together. And everybody has blankets on. And it's just like me and 6 girls. That's a container event. Container at your house. We came up with container event because during COVID, we were fucking contained in our houses. And so that's what we'd have, is the container events. So those are the 6 main event types.
Okay. And last one for you. If I build a network within a city, let's say I've got an Instagram that starts looking like some of your, some of the ones you've got examples on the school site.
Yeah.
How transferable is all of this to other cities? Can I just rock up to another city and get and have things going there, or what happens?
Well, I'm guessing, what city are you in?
Near London.
Okay, so John Hindley is in London. We'll just pull him up real quick. London is London. Can you see John's IG right now?
Mm-hmm.
I would just copy what John does.
Okay.
Makes sense? So yeah, very transferable to other cities. Now, John is a little different, because John's just constantly surrounded by hot girls all the time. So his game is a little different, but like John also takes pictures like this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Great.
Got it?
Great. Thanks, Michael.
Love it, man. Hope to see you soon, man. All right, let's keep it going. Let's go to Justin Wells. Justin, what's your question? Go ahead and unmute yourself, Justin.
Last week you addressed it a little bit, but you had a friend disrespect you in public the other week. Do you have like a checklist of what you usually do when that happens in public, or how you handle those situations? Or
a friend disrespect me in public. I'm trying to remember what we were talking about. Was it me or was it one of the callers?
No, it was a close friend of yours on a podcast, and then Fresh and Fit asked you about it afterwards.
Kylie. Yeah. It's not, I mean, that doesn't, for that situation, what do you do? I mean, honestly, like in her situation, she'd never been on the show before, and we talk shit. Like, okay, here's kind of the context behind everything. So Kylie's from Arkansas. She's a huge college football fan. Let me do this real quick. Go ahead and unmute yourself again, Justin. She's a huge college football fan. And sometimes in here, when we get rowdy and we start talking about the Cowboys, she's like, fuck the Cowboys. And I'm like, fuck that. She's an Arkansas Razorback fan. I'm like, fuck the Razorbacks. And we just get into some shit talking. Sometimes when this is her first time being on a show, she has to understand that like we have to always have each other's back when we're on the show. She didn't understand that for a second. And so I looked at her and I was like, babe, I was kind of reminding her, babe, let's not do that. Afterwards, then she apologized for it on Fresh and Fit. The issue is this. I'm actually happy it happened because there's like these really sad, like cuck, weird beta bitch dudes on
I've seen the commenters
on Reddit and stuff. And like, dude, but Justin, here's the thing. That's all they have. Like when you really think about the fact that I have almost 1,000 videos on my Instagram, and I've dated some of the most beautiful women in the entire world, and like that's all they have. I'm like, bro, man, it's almost like saying Tom Brady isn't a great quarterback because he lost that Super Bowl to the Eagles. That's kind of like the equivalent of what it's saying. It's like everything out, like after all this time, that's the best they have. I'm actually kind of grateful that that's the only thing they can come up with. A stunning woman who's my girlfriend and lives with me, and then right afterwards we had a threesome. Like I'm supposed to be upset because she said one word to me on a fucking podcast. Like, man, if that's what they've got, dude, I'm incredibly grateful.
Yeah, I thought you handled it pretty well. I was just wondering if you didn't have that context, or like you were at a dinner with a new girl or something like that, and she just went off.
It doesn't. I mean, that mattered because there was 30,000 people watching. The only thing, and by the way, she made 2 more comments afterwards saying that I was like the greatest man she's ever been with or whatever. And like, it's funny. Nobody clipped that. Nobody clipped those. It was just this one like 4-second clip. And then the other thing is one of the dudes just like shows the video to other people to get their reaction with no context. And I'm like, of course that's what they're going to say. But my whole thing is, man, I'm really grateful when I think about like, I like Sneeko, but like Sneeko saying, I watch my girlfriend fuck other dudes. Like Sneeko says he watches his girl fuck other dudes, and I had my girl say some loud word once. Like I'll take the loud word. You know what I'm saying? When you think about what's happened to every single person in this industry, that's literally the best they have, man. It's like, it's so great to see that that's the level of desperation that they have. It's the only thing that they can hold on to. And by the way, I don't regret it at all because it was fine afterwards. She apologized for the whole thing. Justin, back to what you were saying before. I don't worry about it that much. If it's something where they're not part of my crew, I'm just going to get up and leave, but I'm not going to react. A really great example of reaction where it's kind of funny, where he tries to catch himself. Go back and watch Kanye West and Mike Myers. Do you remember that video?
Right.
Where Kanye West goes, George Bush does not care about black people. And Kanye West goes, Mike Myers goes like this. Like it's hard. Like your body just reacts sometimes when that happens. But the best thing to do would just not react. Like what I should have done is just start laughing at that point. That's probably would have been the best answer. Nobody would have said anything. Yeah, that's pretty funny. Cool. Does that answer your question, Justin? I appreciate it,
yes,
Justin.
Sir.
Let's go to Sam. Yeah. Sam, what's your question? Sam, you got to.
Yeah, you can hear me? That's weird with the AirPods. Hold on. Let me see if this works. You can hear me?
Mike, you're on mute.
All right.
Sam, can you hear me?
So my question is about training sales teams. If you got anything on that.
About training sales teams.
Yeah, how do you go about like finding good sales guys? I'm about to join your sales team.
All right, we're losing a little audio there, Sam. You're kind of cutting in and out.
Process.
All right, Sam, as far as hiring sales teams, the best thing I'm going to tell you is consume as much content as you can, starting with Cole Gordon and then Jordan Belfort. Those would be the 2 first things I would tell you. The next thing I'm going to tell you is you're going to get caught in this weird place where you're going to hire 10 guys and 2 of them are going to be fucking murderers, Sam. They're going to be so good. Everything they do is right. They're not going to get anything wrong. And then you're going to hire 2 more guys and they're not going to be as good. And you're going to be like, well, we're doing something wrong. But the reality of the situation is most people are average. And you need to be able to create a situation with either a sales script or by creating leads that are warm enough to where your sales guys don't have to be that good. So one of the things you got to do, Sam, is like what I'm doing, where I'm going to do this free call. And if you get to listen to me for 4 hours, a lot of this, I have guys tell me this all the time. I get on the call with one of your sales guys, Michael, and immediately I just want to buy. Like I'm already ready to buy. And he's got to go through like this hour-long pitch. And I'm like, I don't want to hear the pitch. I just want to buy. They call it a lay down. It's called a lay down. My job as the content creator is to get you as many lay downs as possible. Because I get you so many lay downs working for MOA, that's why so many closers want to work for me. Because you still get high commissions, but as I get better and better at selling the program on the 15 podcasts I did last week, it becomes easier and easier for you guys as sales guys to get lay downs. Does that make sense? Now, the reality of the situation is you as a sales trainer and building a sales script is going to be the most important thing. But one of the things I've said that Cole Gordon told me, and I've never forgot this, is he starts every morning by watching 2 wins, not lay downs. Lay downs don't count. But the guys what will happen is if they have a really good sales call, they'll go ahead and they'll post their win. And when they post the win, everybody on the team will watch it or they'll critique it. Or if something goes bad, they'll critique it. Does that make sense? So your sales team needs to talk once a day, and then you're going to critique when a call goes good or when a call goes bad. That would be the best thing I would tell you. Sam, it's just too many people there's more people who want quality salespeople. This is it's the opposite of being a lawyer. There's too many lawyers. There's not enough jobs for lawyers. There's too many actors. There's not enough jobs for actors. There's too many guys trying to run OnlyFans management agencies. There's not enough girls doing OnlyFans for all the shit. But there are not too many high-ticket closers. If you're a high-ticket closer, you're always in demand. And so this idea that you're always going to get the most quality people, we've had to learn the hard way. Like we get quality people, but we're going to have to train them to make them quality people, number one. And number two, if the closing rates goes down, it's Michael Sartain's fucking fault. I have to make better content. Does that make sense?
Yeah, makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, a lot of times what will happen is the sales team will be like, the leads are shit, and the management team will be like, no, the sales team shit. And I don't know what the truth is. What I do know is that Michael Sartain has to do better, always.
For sure. Like one thing I've seen was like selling Jay Shetty stuff was the easiest because he obviously had the biggest reach. Yeah. All right. Thanks.
Great. Of course, man. Of course. Isaiah, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Hey, Mike.
What's going on? Sure can.
Yeah. Hey, Mike. Mike Sartain. Yeah. Hey, Mike. I just had a question. I know you're originally from East Dallas. When I was living in Corpus, there was a street called John Sartain. I was just wondering if that happened to be any of your relatives by any chance.
No. My relatives are from Virginia. They go back to what's it called? Jacksboro, Texas, at the beginning of the century, and then before that, they were in Virginia. So they came over from Suffolk, England, in the 1600s. So no, they weren't. Probably not Corpus. I love Corpus, but I don't have any family down there.
Okay. Well, I remember when I saw your last name, I thought to myself like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a French name, but most of the descendants with that name are actually British.
Okay. And then I'm also just curious. I know you went to UT Austin like mid 90s to like early 2000s ish era.
Mm-hmm.
I actually tried getting in. Unfortunately, I couldn't get in, but I was just wondering, was it super hard when you were trying to go back then? Like,
to get in the business school, yes. It depended on what school you're in. Are you you're an in-state resident in Texas?
Yeah. Well, I'm already, well past like college age, but it's always just interesting kind of hearing people that went to notable schools. For instance, like Trump, how Trump went to Penn. Like, yeah. And like now, like, I mean, and like that's like a super hard school to get into, and it's just like,
sure.
Wonder how, it's just interesting, like people got into.
So the admission standards for me, I can't speak to that specifically back when I was there in 96. What I will tell you is that because in the state of Texas, if you finish top 10% in your class, you are automatically accepted to all the state schools. That's the way we did it in Texas back then. So the reason why that worked is because it allowed more people. This really didn't affect me as much, but like if you're a minority, you go to an all-black school in South Dallas, you're still top 10% of your class, and you get automatic enrollment to UT Austin. That's the way it worked. So because I was in top 10% at Woodrow Wilson High School, which is not, I mean, basically you just have to breathe and read, and you get your top 10% at Woodrow. Then that's the reason why I got into UT Austin.
Okay.
Okay.
Texas
No,
killing
I got into the
Colorado?
business. I got into the business school for a different reason. I actually did. I was a district debate champion and I wrote some really good essays. So I got into the business school for a different reason, but to get into UT was that's how I got it.
Cool. And then I just had another question for you, Mike. And it's kind of an oddball question, I guess, just because, like, you know, obviously I'm still doing everything I can to kind of, like, you know, build up like my social credibility and stuff.
Okay.
Like, me personally, like, I've never ever used drugs, and I've never been a big drinker. And so one thing that's always kind of fascinated me is, like, how come chicks are, like, so much more likely to go home with you if you have blow? Like, I've never done blow, but, like, I've seen it, like, and I've always gone to kick out of that.
All right.
This is like,
This is
you know,
this is a really interesting fundamental question. The reason why is also a similar reason why they go home with you when you give them tequila, and that is because cocaine and agave in tequila are stimulants. And what it does is it creates a better buying temperature. There's two reasons. There's two kind of explanations. One is it elongates the night, and over a long enough time period, if she's just around you, whatever defenses, whatever natural defense, and those defenses are there for a reason. We want women to be picky. Women should be picky. No, not delusional, but they should be picky. You don't want your daughter to not be picky. But the women are going to have a certain level of pickiness. But what will happen is that pickiness is going to be at 2 a.m. at excess, and then you go to Dre's, and then 3, 4, 5 o'clock at Dre's, and she's still taking Coke. That inhibition drops, and that's the reason why a lot of those girls will end up going home with a guy who has cocaine. Not recommending anyone use cocaine, but when I first moved here, it was something that I noticed a lot too. I'd have an incredible interaction with a girl, and then I turn my head, and all of a sudden she just left with a Coke dealer. It is pretty. I think it's more for girls who just do Coke. The other thing I'll mention to you is that, like, one thing I've noticed is that girls who are the most attractive get offered like 10 times more Coke than the next level down. Like, all the Coke is like, that's why what'll happen is really, really attractive girls who go out a lot are offered like disproportionately more drugs than anyone else, which is a problem. I mean, it makes things harder.
No.
Sound
Hey,
good?
I appreciate you explaining it like that. And then I guess one other thing, Mike, before you move on to the next person,
Yeah.
have you considered, or have you been in touch at all with Ryan Pineda? I'd love to see you have a chat with him.
Yeah. That's definitely going to happen. I think it'll definitely happen. I have not been in touch. It's secondarily Char Modell, who does my content. She knows him. I definitely think it's going to happen. Yeah.
What about Dana
Yeah.
White?
Also Ryan had a Fresh and Fit on, so I definitely think I would say Graham Stephan and Ryan Pineda. I think it will happen eventually. Yeah. It just
What
like
about
for
Dana
right now, I'd love to have him on. For right now, for my content, I'm just kind of backed up. Like I said before, I got Mike Rashid coming on. I have Mike Rashid. I have Violetta Benson. I have Robert Kiyosaki, and I have Brad Lee coming on. So that's like the next month I already have planned out.
Would you have President Trump on if you could have him on? I know you're not
Yeah,
a fan of
of
his,
course.
but would you?
No,
would
I'm
you
not.
have- would you have-
I don't know. No, I'm not a fan of President Trump. Don't be confused.
Oh,
I'm not. I'm
no,
a political
sure.
moderate. Yeah, I definitely think he's better than Biden. My point with Trump was that I just wish that I would prefer a former U.S. military member to be president. That's just my personal bias. No problem. I don't have a problem with Trump.
No, fair enough.
I just want
Well, hey,
better.
Mike-
It's like if your daughter marries a guy and he's great, it's like I don't dislike the guy she married. I just wanted her to marry, like, you know, a Navy SEAL / U.S. senator. That's what I want from my daughter. I just want better. Does that make sense?
No, of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got you. Well, Mike,
Cool.
hey, thank you for hosting these as much as you do, boss. I appreciate it. And I look forward to the next episode.
Awesome, man. I look forward. Hopefully we'll get you an MOA, man. Talk to you soon. All right, let's do this. Next one is going to be, Jess. This looks good. Here we go. Jess, what's your question, Jess? Okay, so Jess unmuted himself and then muted himself. Did you guys hear that? Okay, cool. I don't know what happened there. Cool. I don't know. Maybe that was one of the things that's happened is the trolls, they come on every time and they try to take over the screen and the whiteboard, and now they can't. So I think they're like trying and then it's not working for them or something. I don't know. Anyway, let's go to
Might kick him.
No, you don't have to kick him. You don't have to kick him. Just ask him a question, like figure out what the deal is. I mean, he could have said something. Oh, look, here's the thing. I don't want to kick him.
His screen is gay shit. His screen is showing gay stuff. That's why.
Oh, okay. Yeah, then get rid of him. That's fine. Oh, just troll. No, hey, listen, they need this help more than anybody. Yeah, I don't care. You don't have to kick them. They need the help more than anybody. And it's so small on the screen. You can't see their screen on YouTube. So I really don't care. They can do whatever they want.
Yeah, true. All right. All good.
Yeah. Leave them. Those guys actually need this help more than anybody because they're the ones who are obsessed with gay porn. They're the ones, being obsessed with porn in general is difficult. And for these guys to be obsessed with gay porn, I'm sure is very difficult for them in whatever country they live in. Mark, what's your question?
I would drop my notes here. What do I do when there are no attractive women where I live? I'm serious. I'm going through the follow list of nightclubs here. And out of every 100 women, 2 are still in the area and single. It's like that. It's like that's what the average is.
Okay, guys, if you've had this problem before where you live in a place where you feel like there's no attractive women, put 1 in the chat. If you've been at a place, you've been to a place where there's just no attractive women there. Mark, what city do you live in?
Sacramento.
Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna tell you about Sacramento is, Mark, there's no attractive women there. I'm sorry, brother. It's Northern California.
I agree. There's actually done surveys and found that.
Yeah. Okay.
No,
there are some, like my friend CJ Sparks, she's from Sacramento, and another friend of mine, Jacqueline Kenyon. She's oh my God, it's Jacqueline on IG. She's from that area as well. NorCal in general.
And she just got pregnant. Actually,
you talking about? Oh my God, it's Jacqueline.
Yeah.
She just she had her second baby. Yeah. She still looks good for having 2 kids. Yeah. Anyway, so the issue with that, Mark, by the way, she lives in Las Vegas. She doesn't live in Northern California anymore. The issue with that, Mark, is you have to make a decision. All right. What do you do for a living, Mark?
I work in the beer industry, and although it's not, the thing is, there's a flip side to it. Although there's not a good amount of attractive women here, it's a huge center for beer, and it's a place I'm gonna have to stay in for some time to be able to move up in my career. I'm getting job interviews every week here for better jobs.
Yeah. So, I mean, Mark, what I would do is try to find some other guys that are kind of maybe in the Oakland, San Francisco area or the Sacramento area and try to get together and host some events like what we've been talking about before. I would get very heavy into the first 4 steps of Men of Action. I would get heavy into fixing your social media. I would get heavy into building a list. Like that's what's going on. There have been guys in MOA who've done
grinding on building the list at the moment. So,
okay. Yeah, I mean, that it's just going to take work. And Mark, here's the thing. If you were in Vegas, it would take less work because you're in Sacramento. It's just going to take more work.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
So is it frustrating? Bro, it's really frustrating. I mean, try living in Doha, Qatar. That's where I was for 6 months. You want to talk about no girls? That's what it was like. So yeah, it's going to be frustrating, but let's go back to the first 4 steps. Step number 1, fix your Instagram. Step number 2, build your list. Step number 3, find 6 events to invite people to. By the way, the bikini competition on the 30th, all of you are fully allowed to invite girls to that, even if you can't come and even if they can't come. And then step number 4, which is find 6 girls to take with you to those events. That's the only answer I could give you, Mark. I can't make, you know what I'm saying? I can't make it warm in Alaska. Yeah. And I can't make it cold. You know, I can't make it cold in the desert. I can't make it cold in Arizona, and I can't make it warm in Alaska. It is what it is. And so that's always going to be an issue, right?
Yeah, I haven't gotten in that area. I'm going to have to go basically shift my focus. So I'm going to start looking in the Bay Area because I haven't been doing that yet. So,
yeah. Oh, sorry, Rolo was just messaging me. Okay, Mark, the Bay Area, you're going to have a little bit more of an advantage. There are a lot of guys who are tech guys that joined MOA that are going to have a lot of experience in that area. So I would get on the free school server and be like, hey, any of you guys in the NorCal area, you want to get together and try to throw something?
Okay, thanks.
Okay. Sounds good. Let's do Sam. Sam, what's your question?
Yeah, I want to know about how big the team in Toronto is. If you guys got a lot of people in Toronto.
Oh, we do have. I don't know if there's anybody on here, just because this is not the MOA. The MOA guys are not on here right now. But Sam, we have. I want to say maybe a dozen guys in Toronto right now. The other thing I'm going to tell you, Sam, let's do this for you real quick. So, have you built? Are you in MOA right now?
Nah, I'm gonna get in soon.
Okay, cool. So here's the first thing.
First time I joined the sales team.
If I'm gonna build my Amber X Emery. So this is my homegirl in Toronto. Can you give me 1 second and see if it pops up? Do you see the screen?
Yeah.
So I would build my Toronto list starting with Amber. Okay.
Where?
She travels the world, but she's in Toronto. And then the other girl who like knows everybody that I know a ton of, I'll see Holly T. Wolf. Is this the right one? Maybe this is. I'm not sure. This might be a backup account. Yes, Holly T. Wolf. No, this is here we go. Holly Wolf. IRL. Here we go. 191,000. She's in Toronto also. So there's a couple of girls. I also maybe Chloe Teray. I would start with them. You're going to go up here to who they're following and then try to build a Toronto list that way. Make sense?
Dope. One more question is like, I make music. So I'm a rapper. My Instagram is a rapper account. So I mean, I took your advice and deleted most of the shit, but would that be a benefit or should I make a personal one with my like first name, last name type thing?
You have a separate rapper account? I mean, I just don't know. I mean, if you have music.
Well, that's my main account.
If you have, so the thing is, do you have enough content on there? I would probably just keep it all as one. When I think about like other rappers, they just have one account. I would just keep it all as one.
Dope. All right, respect.
Okay.
Thanks.
All right, man. Cool. Let's go to Jay. Go ahead, Jay. Unmute yourself.
Okay, unmuted myself. Can you hear me, Michael?
Sure can.
Yeah, Michael, as always, big fan of your work. Keep doing what you do. Loved a lot of your events that I've gone to. But I just wanted to say, in your opinion, like going off the conversation about Sacramento, are there really only like a handful of cities in the US that are kind of worth living in if your goal is similar to what we talk about in these meetings?
If your goal is to, so here's the thing. Let's break this down. So one of the big contentions against, I'm not specifically red pill, but I'm just going to use this as an example. One of the contentions is that red pill tells you to be a whore, to fuck as many women as you can, to spin plates. What was Myron said? Fuck 50, get 50 bodies before you get married, whatever. We're not specifically prescribing that. So I'm not prescribing that that's what you do. However, what I will tell you is that you're going to be a lot better with women long-term when you have some experience with different women short-term, or like when you're younger. So for instance, for me, there was a guy last night, we were at a club. I don't know who else was there. Maybe I don't know if Tristan's on the call. He can talk about it. It was really funny. But this guy, he is there with his girl, and his girl is like kind of she's a friend of a friend. She's sort of in our crew, like the me and Kylie crew. And so we're hanging out, and this girl is running around and just grabbing dudes and just like hugging them. But like in a way that if my girlfriend did that, I would pull her to the side and be like, that's inappropriate. Don't fucking hug guys in front of me like that. I'm not talking about like a gentle hug. I'm talking about like a fuck me hug. It was too much. And then I also knew that this particular girl, she really likes tall black dudes. Like that's her type. Her boyfriend's tall black dude. And I had a guy with me who was a tall black dude. And I introduced her to him, and she could tell she was smitten. She was all about my buddy, and her boyfriend has to come and like grab her boyfriend. I don't even know if it's really her boyfriend. He has to come and like grab her and like pull her away. When I was young, I used to tolerate shit like that. Why? Because I saw a big pair of fake titties and I was like, yes, anything for the boobies, anything. Because I was 22. I didn't know. I thought that in order to get a bad girl, in order to have a bad bitch, have a fine ass girlfriend, I have to follow them around and put up with their bullshit. And the hotter they are, the crazier they are. I know now that's not the case. When you look at somebody like Steven Crowder, right? Steven Crowder, great content creator, right? Love stuff he talks about. But he married the first woman he had sex with, and he didn't sign a prenup, and she's now leaving him. So that's an example of not having experience with women versus having experience with women. It's not women are bad or good. It's just you need experience with them. It's like riding a horse for the first time when you've never ridden a horse, but you're going to go ride in the Kentucky Derby. You're going to fucking die. You don't have enough experience with horses to know what to do. If you don't have enough experience with women, you're going to have a problem. How do we get experience with women? We can spin plates, which means we're dating multiple women. We can do what Myron says, which means we're going to literally have sex with lots of women. You can do it or not do it. I definitely in my early 20s, I say all the way up to my early 40s was definitely that dude. Okay. And or you can do the combination of the first two while additionally having a ton of female friends, club promoter, manage a strip club, like I said before, like a male nurse. I have a buddy of mine, Steve Demopoulos. He's an attorney. Almost everyone who works at his law firm, almost everyone's female. He's just a ton of female, like all his paralegals are female. So surrounding yourself with women so that you get used to being around women, so that when you hear the complaining about the ex-boyfriend, or you see the tattoos that are kind of like right here, the tattoos that are in the wrong places on the body, you know, okay, this is a red flag. In order to get that information about the girl being a red flag, you need lots of experience with women. Women, however, don't need lots of experience with men in order to be good at dating. Women can just be attractive and they can be good at dating, and we don't need them to be good at sex. I heard somebody say that shit was Milena or whatever. Destiny's wife was like, don't you want just like a 10 out of 10 blowjob? I'm like, no, I would rather have a super hot girl who just wants to give me a good blowjob and I'll teach her. I don't need her to be a porn star level blowjob. Like when I first met her, that's too much. She doesn't have to do that. Women do not have to practice to be good at dating. Men do. Because we're the ones who have to perform. We have to open the door, have the reservation set up, candles ready, have the nice apartment that we paid for with our money, have everything set up because we're the ones who are performing. So in order to get that experience, if you were playing basketball, are you going to have a better time playing in an empty gym? Are you going to learn more skills? Are you going to become a better player by playing a bunch of pickup games at a park where there's a bunch of games going on at once, and you can get 10, 15 games in a night? You're going to do better. You're going to improve more, the more opportunities you get and the more experience you get. And what I've said with men is that men need more experience with women to get better at dating. Women do not need a ton of experience with men in order to get better at dating. And so because of that, it's important you live in a place where you can get a lot of experience. I will tell you, the place on earth where you can get the most experience with girls that are very attractive is Las Vegas. You can say Dubai, but unfortunately, a lot of those girls are working girls. And I know everyone thinks all the girls here are working girls. That's not the case. There's lots of middle-class women who come to Las Vegas who pay for their own shit. Las Vegas is not Dubai. Las Vegas is not Saint-Tropez. Las Vegas is not Ibiza. Las Vegas, you can get a hotel room here for $99. Okay. Las Vegas they have an expensive Vegas and then they have a cheap Vegas. And really hot girls, they don't have to pay for anything here. So like a girl can come to Vegas and not have a sugar daddy have to pay for her trip. Whereas if she goes to Tulum, a sugar daddy almost certainly paid for her trip. That's the difference. Like that's the main difference. So in Vegas, that's different. Look, when you're in Medellin, a problem in Medellin is a lot of those girls are working girls because there's a massive economic disparity between rich and poor. That massive economic disparity is what's going to lead to a situation where that massive economic disparity is going to lead to a situation where you're going to have a lot of girls who are working girls who either fuck on camera or they're prostitutes. So that's the issue. The city that I found where you can meet the most attractive girls in a situation like that, where they're not hookers, I would say Austin, Texas, San Diego, California, Scottsdale, Arizona, Dallas, Texas, those places, Fort Lauderdale, and then to a lesser extent, maybe Atlanta. But the most you're going to find, the most is Vegas and Miami, period. Vegas and Miami. And I will say, like, the money game is a little bit thicker in Miami than it is in Vegas, believe it or not. Like, girls just leaving with the guy with money is a slightly more of a Miami thing than a Vegas thing, because you guys got the boats. And we don't really do the yacht thing here. We don't go. So the guy who has more money at Mr. Jones just has a little bit more of an advantage than he does at XS.
Got it. No love for New York City?
Huh?
No love for NYC?
So tell me about the last 3 bikini competitions New York City that you went to.
0.
Okay, that's why. So there's an ethos. Each city has an ethos to it. What happens in Dallas is that when you're in Dallas, the girls who are just normal girls, they have to compete with the girls who are in the gym all the time. And so those girls, they have to compete with the strippers. They have to compete with the bikini models. They have to compete with all those girls. And so cities where girls wear fewer clothes, they're going to be in the gym more because their bodies are shown more. And so you're going to get an ethos like you haven't. This is just an average. We're out in the suburbs in Las Vegas doing a photo shoot, and the girls here have flat stomachs. They do. There's none of these girls are overweight. None of them. They're all pretty faces and flat stomach. That's what you get when you're in Las Vegas. The ethos of the city is different here than it is in a place like New York, where girls, when it's summertime or when it's winter, girls just cover up and they cover their pastiness, and I'm not saying they're fat. What I'm saying is they don't have as much of an incentive to stay skinny in a place like New York like they do in Las Vegas. You don't go out in the summer in Las Vegas. Girls, this is how they wear. They wear skimpy bikinis in the summer. Does that make sense?
It does. And
you don't see that in Boston. You don't see that in Chicago. You don't see that in New York. You don't see that in Seattle. You don't see that in San Francisco. So the ethos of girls staying hot is different in those different cities than it is in Las Vegas. Understand?
Got it.
So just what I'm saying is southern cities just have hotter women.
Gotcha. Thank you, Michael. And again, big fan of your stuff and keep doing what you do.
I love it. I appreciate it, man. Awesome. Let's do Racine. What's going on, man? What's your camera? What's your camera? What's your question? Hold on. Need you to Racine. Go ahead and unmute yourself.
Got it. Hey, Mike. Thank you for taking the call. I did what you told me to do last time. Last time you told me to make the videos with because I'm an accountant. Should have changed my name. I forgot to do that. So I'm an accountant. So I did the
No. I love that. That's fine. That's totally fine. Yeah, okay. Racine. And by the way, Racine Financials is you're not Racine. That's just who you work for.
No. My last name is Racine. So
got it.
So it's my company's name. This is my company's Zoom account. So I forgot to change it to my personal Zoom account. So I did what you told me to do last time to make the videos with the music in the background, and I've been getting some traction with that too. But the problem I'm having now is I need to find editors because it's time consuming to actually make videos and content and do that little subtitles or captions on the videos. Yeah. I was looking at your videos on Instagram, and the way you do it is so good. So how do you do that? Do you got a personal editor or something?
Yeah. So Pearl put me on to a dude in Nigeria, but I'll tell you right now, like there's a million other guys. Racine, you're going to want to look outside the United States for people who do this kind of work. 10 videos a day type stuff for $500 a month.
Okay.
Maybe 1,000, 1,500 a month, something like that. You can get content every single day.
And do you use Fiverr to find them, or how do you find them?
You can use Fiverr. I mean, there's different places. I mean, I would just search, but the thing is, the hiring process is difficult. The reason why it was easier for us is because literally Pearl Davis put us onto him. So,
got it. Okay.
And Pearl has a mill, so
yeah.
There we go. There go. Ice White is saying I got a guy in Bulgaria who's looking to do more work like this. So I would get on the school server and see the free school server for MOA, and I promise you, there's going to be somebody out there that can help you with this. It's not going to be difficult.
Okay, thank you.
Nice. All right, hold on. Let me see this real quick. Put this. Let me see. Are there any super chats? Let me make sure there's no super chats. I don't want to skip you guys if there were any. Doesn't look like there are. All right, we're going to go back here. I'm going to put that free school server right there, and let's go to nice. All right. So for those of you who are new to the program, one of the things that's a little different. So if you watch Fresh and Fit, or if you watch Rollo, is that people will sit there and they just kind of like ghost watch. By the way, like the video. If you guys are watching this on YouTube, please like the video. I appreciate it. The difference on this call, as you can tell, is that we do face-to-face one-on-ones, and it's a little risky, right? You saw those trolls that just came on a little while ago. They were trying to show porn or whatever on the channel. That's one of the risks that we do, and this is the reason why other people don't do it. Also, I don't make you guys pay to ask me questions on video. The reason why you have to do that with super chats is because there's thousands of super chats or thousands of chats. So you pay $1 or $100 and you get your chat read. Because we're not doing that as our main source of income on this call, that's why we do this whole hand raising thing. So for those of you who are not used to that, there's still 82 of you here live in the Zoom room, and there's a couple hundred of you on YouTube. What I want you guys to do, actually, let's do this. For those of you who are on YouTube, because there's still 20 spots left in here, let's see. Let's go to invite, copy invite link. All right, for those of you who are watching me on YouTube right now, I'm putting the invite link in here, and you guys can join us live if you would rather talk to us. Hey, man, thank you commenting for the algorithm. If you guys want to click that Zoom link and join us live in here, there's still 17 more spots in here, because once we get to 99, you can't have any more people on here, because I still see there's a few hundred people watching us on YouTube. All right, let's see here. Cool, nice. All right, so the last thing, and you guys followed my directions. You already got to before me. Raise your hand so I can call on you. That's the difference between what we do here and what people do usually on YouTube with the super chats. I know maybe some of you might not be used to this. The other thing is, you'll see down at the bottom on your Zoom call, whether you're on your phone or on your laptop, it says reaction. If you click on reaction, one of the reactions it says is raise hand. I'll put the hand down. Go ahead and raise your hand, and we'll call on you here in a little bit. And I'm not leaving. It's already 5:17. We've only been on an hour, 15 minutes. We're not leaving until everyone's questions are answered. Everyone, please try to keep it to one. If we, once we get to the 3-hour mark, we don't want to go too much further. Okay. So we're going to go to Paul Ray. Paul, what's your question?
First, I want to say you talk about like getting your hormones in check and like testosterone if you need it. Can't agree with you more. Life-changing, made my life 10 times better.
That's incredible, man.
Does your system work in cities like Dallas? Is there enough like room, and how does that work?
Man, I wish I could just unmute everybody, but I can't. Yeah, there's a huge group of us in Dallas, man. Huge. The biggest groups I've seen, though, I went to Austin the other day, a couple days ago. God damn, there's a lot of dudes in Austin in MOA. It's crazy. Germany and Austin, they blow me away how many dudes are in there. And then obviously New York, too. There's probably 30 guys in New York right now. Miami is obviously another big one. But the new biggest one, surprisingly for me, because this used to not to be the biggest place where we had MOA guys, is Vegas. Like a lot of guys are moving out here just to like do this program in Vegas. Dallas is easy, bro. You have beautiful women. You have good weather. There's tons of there's tons of freaking bikini competitions. There's tons of events. You have 2 massive events. You have the Margarita Ball and the Dragon Ball in Dallas. You have all the people that own Concrete Cowboy, the people that own Bottle Blonde. You have these bars that like the wait staff there is attractive. The girls that hang out there are attractive. No, Paul, Dallas is the prime city to do this for sure. Only reason I don't live in Dallas right now, Paul, is because the humidity. I would live in Dallas right now. There's so many hot girls there. I would live in Dallas right now. For sure, yeah.
Digit days of 100 and high humidity are.
Bro, it's like you live in Abu Dhabi, bro. Real talk. It's crazy. No, Paul, I'm from Dallas. I'm from East Dallas.
Okay.
So I go there 3 or 4 times a year, and we throw events there all the time. Will you do me a favor, Paul? Just go on the school server and then say, hey, which one of you guys are from North Texas? There's a bunch of guys there. Dudes that live in Frisco, all that kind of stuff. Ryan Stewman lives out there too. My buddy Ryan.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep. That was my question. Thank you.
Nice. Let's go to Kleber Costa. Kleber Costa. What's going on, Kleber? Oh, sorry, man. Go ahead and you got to speak. Yeah, we got no audio, and you're not muted, so something's wrong. It'd be Kleba, wouldn't it? Kleba. Is it spelled like Maxi Kleba?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Sorry. So my question is, I would like some tips on how to make money online. So let me give you a little bit of context.
Okay.
I have a YouTube channel with 1K subs, but I'm struggling to be consistent. And I also do video editing, and I help all my parents at their snack bar, but I'm making little money right now. So I'd like to hear what you have to say to me.
Okay, so Clebo, one of the issues that's going to happen is no matter what I say, it's going to be something that's already infested full of people. Your problem is not going to be your skill set. Your problem is going to be demand for your skill set. So the job of doing all those video edits, that Brad Lee is paying $40,000 a month for people to do edits of his videos and then post stuff on his channel. That number is going to be less than probably $4,000 a month here pretty soon, because so many people have gotten into that industry that want to do content. And people who live in poorer countries like Bulgaria or Brazil or Venezuela or Colombia, from Brazil, it's easier for them to now do that type of content. The main thing I'm going to tell you, Kleba, and I know this is not going to be the answer that you're looking for, because this is not really a money-making course. We definitely help you with that, but let me express this to you guys, because we have a lot of problems with this. Is making money in MOA, it's somewhere in MOA. It is not the priority of the course, and we do not guarantee that you can make money. As becoming a master networker and growing your network, you are going to get better at that part of your life, but that is not the primary goal of this. Does that make sense? It's almost like saying, me going to the weight room makes me a better football player. No, going to the football field makes you a better football player. Going to the weight room makes you stronger. So MOA can help you with the things that can help you make you money, but that is not the specific part of this course. If you guys hit us up and you're like, hey man, I want to learn to make 100K a month. Can you guys help me? My salespeople are going to be like, they're going to push you to like Cole Gordon's thing. Clebo, the easiest thing I'm going to tell you, not the easiest, but the fastest way to get there, the quickest, is high ticket sales. It's hard. It's hard. Okay. The way to get your foot in the door is to be a setter. And that means you got to do a ton of fucking outbound. It's not easy. It's not an easy thing. Hey babe, come here. You know, you go somewhere? Want to say hi to everybody? Okay. The way that it works is being an outbound setter is like kind of the main thing, is a way for you to get into the whole situation of being a closer. The other one I'm going to tell you is copywriting. That's another one that can get your foot in the door. There's not enough good copywriters, but the thing where people are editing other people's videos, man, I got to tell you, there are countries a lot poorer than Brazil, people from Nigeria that are willing to do this shit for nothing. So like, that's probably not the route. Because it's not that you're not solving a problem, you're solving an incredible problem. The problem is there's too many people who want to do that. I get 100 requests, 100 requests per month for people trying to edit short form content for me. And that's not an exaggeration. I would not be getting into that game right now. I would not. 2 years ago, I would have. But as somebody who, you know, if you're middle class whatsoever, I would not be getting into that game right now.
So so my name is Kleber, but doesn't matter. I actually applied to MOA to the sales.
Okay.
I'm sorry. To the setter position at MOA. I'm not sure if I'm gonna get in, but I'll try it. So
Kleber, let me tell you something. I for those of you who, because there's a lot of people on this call trying to get a setter position with me, it's a great place to work. You guys get to go with us to Jamaica with 150 girls. It's a fucking, you'll love working for this place. You get to go to do immersion free anytime you want. You get to go to all the bikini competitions for free. You get to go to all the babes. There's a lot of perks for working for me. However, unfortunately, there's thousands of guys applying to work for me now. We're doing over 500K a month. So because of that, my whole thing is I would just say be patient. I want to get to a point where we have standard operating procedures where the problem is we're only trying to hire the best of the best. And I keep telling the guys at some point, we're going to need to hire people who are less experienced because the sales team is going to need to grow. We were running the numbers on doing $1 million a month, and we don't have a big enough sales team to do that. So we're going to have to grow at some point, but that means it's a lot of training for us. So if we're going to put that amount of money and work and time into training, we need the best of the best right now. And then eventually those guys are going to train our sales team now. So I'd say a year, 2 years, we're going to grow the sales team a lot, and there might be an opportunity then. But in the meantime, Kleber, there are other places where you can do high ticket sales, and there's also places where you can do high ticket sales in Portuguese. And so that would be some of the things that I would look at first. But you know, making money from home, dude, it's the holy grail. And I don't know what your skill set is in order for me to tell you which one of these things that you're elite at so that you can figure it out. But I can point you in the direction. Ready? 2 books for you. The first one is going to be The One Thing by Gary Keller, and the other one is going to be Start With Why. Okay.
I've read The One Thing by Gary Keller, but it
okay.
was like 5 years ago.
Okay.
And I'll read Start With
Why.
So
go ahead.
I would like, so how could I get in the door, like for a position of a setter, not specifically for your company, but if I were to go out and try to get a position at another company for a setter position, how would I be better positioned to win that position to work there?
So I mean, I'm gonna tell you, like, if I was gonna be a setter, when I would just knock the whatever interview you're doing, you got to knock it out of the park. Are you going now, babe? Say everybody say bye to Kylie. She's got to go do a photo shoot so she can get famous, and then she'll break out with me.
Promise I won't leave you for a Coke dealer at Dre's, babe.
She's not. She said she won't leave me for a Coke dealer at Dre's. She isn't gonna leave. You guys heard that. You guys heard that when we get to divorce court. You guys heard that. All right. So yeah, going back to the whole situation. I wish I could give you, like, there's a lot of guys out here you would ask this question to, and they're just gonna like point you in the direction of a bunch of places that are just as compact as this. So Amazon FBA is a hard gig to get into right now. It's not impossible if you find the right coach, like Leonard here, who's one of our, he's in MOA. It's really good at teaching guys Amazon FBA, but you got to find the right coach. Cole Gordon is the right coach if you want to learn how to do sales. That's one of the things that I would tell you. But because I don't know what you're elite at, it's impossible for me to tell you how do I make money from home and make a bunch of money. It's very difficult. I'll tell you, in the United States, I had I had a client yesterday tell me he was a machinist and he doesn't want to be a machinist anymore because he's got to work 9 hours at a place. And it was like an electrical machinist. And he was like, but I like it because I can keep my earpiece in and I can listen to audiobooks while I'm working. I was like, oh, that's interesting. As a machinist for you to do that. And I was like, well, maybe, an idea you could do unless they're paying you $200,000 a year is you could try driving Uber. And he goes, oh, no, I don't even make $50,000 a year. And I'm like, then why aren't you fucking driving Uber? Like, what are you doing? Like, why would you? Because he already wants a different job as a high ticket closer for real estate. And I was like, but you can't do the other job because it's taking up your time. I would just quit my job and just go do Uber at that point. Like, if we're talking less than 50K. Now, the thing is for you, Kleber, you don't listen to you live in the United States. So it's going to be a little different for you. But the best thing that I can tell you is to read those 2 books and figure out what you're elite at. Elite at. Okay.
Thank you, Michael.
All right, man. Awesome. Preston, what's your question? And unmute yourself, Preston.
Okay. Hey, I just want to introduce myself. Thanks, Michael, for having me on.
Of course.
I'm a fellow Dallasite. I was a
nice
Highland Park guy, so I know you've talked about him in the past in one of your interviews.
My dad was a Scot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. There you go. Small world. So I recently finished up undergrad at MIT.
Okay.
I've reached out to Tristan. We've tried to connect a time or two. It hasn't happened yet, but
unfortunately Tristan is out here being a fucking degenerate with a bunch of bikini models. That's why he's never in Boston anymore.
Yeah, well, you gotta deal with the studies somehow.
Yep.
Anyways, so I'm trying to figure out what I'm doing next. I'd say I'm really interested in starting a business at some point.
Can I point this out to the guys real quick? Hold on. Look at what an asshole this guy is. Look at this. Look at this. What is this guy doing? He's going to Harvard and then he just goes around to, this is one of our top sales guys. Look at him. Look at this. Look what this guy does. He runs around like this all day, because this is what happens when you're in MOA. You're just surrounded by freaking girls all the time. And then he's sitting there at the same time, he's like doing sales calls for us all day. And then he goes to do bikini competitions at night while going to Harvard. Dude, I just hate this guy. And it just, what an asshole. Anyway, keep going.
He's becoming the little Michael. He's even dressing like you now. Anyways, so I'm considering going the military route. I spent some time. I left school for a bit and came back up, and one of the problems that I dealt with was discipline. And then I think for building business, I think developing leadership skills would be really good for me. So I'm trying to think like, would a 5-year commitment in the military be useful for me? I'm not really concerned about, getting a big paycheck right now.
Yeah.
I've got good credentials and but that's something that I'm considering. So you've talked a little bit about your background with the military, but I'm curious how you kind of made that decision to make that commitment.
I just watched those 2 towers fall on 9/11, and it was pretty cut and dry decision for me. I was like, fuck these motherfuckers. I'm going to war and join the military. I will tell you, Bilzerian talks about this. He's like, when you get out of college, a great idea is to do a 2-year stint as enlisted, because or maybe 3 years, because when you get to become you're a freshman, you're 21, and you are going to have like a 10x advantage hooking up with a female freshman. You're going to be in the freshman dorm as a 21-year-old banging 18-year-olds. Like, that's what ends up happening. You're going to have money saved up. You're going to be in better physical shape. A lot of guys say this, like, instead of going straight to college, do the military for 3 years. Guys, let me tell you something. Is there some pushing and shoving and some push-ups you got to do? Yes. The military is hard, but being a day laborer is fucking hard. Like there's a lot of physically demanding jobs that are hard. What makes the military hard is not the physical hardness to it. What makes it hard is the discipline. That's what makes it hard. And what I will tell you, Preston, is normally for the level of discipline that you could get from there, people would pay $500,000 to get that level of discipline. They're going to pay you. So yes, my answer would be yes.
Okay. Because you talked earlier in this call about how, you know, you're like, hey, I want my daughter to date a Navy SEAL. So I'm just thinking like, you know, when I want to have a family, it's like, you know, what do I want to have on my wall?
When my family wants to have a family, I want my wife, my daughter to be married to somebody who effortlessly grabs the fucking Mossberg and goes downstairs. And like when he goes downstairs, the other guy's going to die. Like there's no question about it. That's who I want protecting my grandkids. Yes, for sure. I would prefer to have my daughter. Yes. I would love if my daughter married a Navy SEAL, 100%.
Okay. Well, thanks. Appreciate you a lot. I'm trying to put together the money to join the program soon.
Love it, man. I'll see you soon. By the way, if you're not in MOA, you guys can still come to the bikini competition. Don't think it's, if you guys are not in MOA, you guys can still get on the school server. If you're not in MOA, you can still come on these free calls. If you're not in MOA, you can still go to Babes in Toyland July 27th. If you're not in MOA, you can still come to Babes in Toyland October 15th. There's nothing, you can still come. So hope to see you guys all there. Zach.
And real quick, Preston. One last thing. Is there any way you can, so for building a social media profile for like, you know, business professional, tech professional, do you have any quick recommendations on like where to start with that? Cause I would go through those, do the bikini models all over.
I would go through the 30, those 30 IGs and find one that matches what you're looking for.
Okay. Thanks again for the time, man.
The delineation is I have a bunch of girls or I don't have a bunch of girls. There's no delineation between the lawyer profile and the fucking accountant profile. Those are the same profile.
And you've said before, like access to scarce resources, the number one thing you want to show in the social media, right?
Yes. So it doesn't matter what your job is, right? But if you happen to be the talent manager at Excess and every day you're walking in a new huge DJ, that's what you should be showing, that access to scarce resources.
Right.
Got it?
Okay. Thanks again, man.
Awesome. Zach, what's your question? Stand by, Zach, and unmute.
Hey, Michael. I came in a bit late, so I'm assuming you might have covered the invites for the Wet Republic bikini contest already.
Oh, yeah. Hey, guys, if you guys want to see my invites for the bikini competition, put a 1 in the chat. If you guys want to see it. Guys, I don't give a fuck if you're in MOA or not. And by the way, all of you can do this. It doesn't matter if you're in Men of Action or not. All of you can do this. Okay? All right, cool. You guys all want to see it? All right, let's do it. Great question. Let me see if I got one here. Let's go back to a girl I invited who I've already answered. I'm trying to find a girl who's already said yes. No, Lizzie hasn't. Give me 1 second. Okay, here we go. Actually, I don't know if Lexi said yes. So yeah, Lexi's not doing it, but here's the invite. You guys see it? So more evidence, fewer words. The evidence is actually right here where it shows the first prize $3,000 and 10th prize $1,000. That's part of the evidence. Okay. The second piece of evidence, if you look on here, the check says, you see how the check says like $6,000. Do you see that right there? The checks are part of the evidence right here. We're having a $60,000 swimsuit pageant all summer at Wet Republic. The first preliminary is June 30th. You don't have to put the second part. Monthly prizes are $13,500. Final prize is $19,500. Would you or someone you know like to compete? Very short. Unfortunately, what happens is guys start thinking that they need it to be long. And they need to like convince a girl, hey, you should do this bikini competitions. Bikinis were originally created in the 16th century by blah, 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 blah. If you do a bikini competition, you can also get photos. Those photos can help you with your social media. Let me explain to you why social media is important. No, stop explaining shit, guys. Make your messages shorter. Having a bikini competition, $60,000. Would you like to attend? Here's 2 photos. Make it real simple. And then you need to send that out to 4,000 girls. And if you get a VA, if you're having trouble with that, and then the objective is get as many open threads as possible. Make sense, Zaka? Zach? Oh, Zach, it looks like you muted yourself.
Yeah, that makes sense. I gotta ask, like, who's we? Because I started with the generic one, like from the, so we could use the word we to start it off with.
Yeah, we're throwing up. Yeah. If they ask
Cool.
who's we, then just say Wet Republic or just say Michael Sartain. They, by the way, when they respond, you need to send them to me. I have to put them on the list.
All right.
Sound good?
Yeah.
Keep it short. It's not what you guys think. And also, there's a whole module on this in Men of Action. Brett, what's your question, Brett? Brett Quigley.
Hey. Oh, hey, I'm coming on camera. 1 second.
Okay.
All right, cool. Hey, Mike, thanks for answering my question.
Sure.
About the invites, you mentioned in one of your mini courses or something on school that I saw where you can send out invites to people to events that even you're not capable or able to go to.
Yeah, all the time.
And I thought that was like, I thought that was, yeah, definitely. I thought that was like just a next level genius thing. But I was wondering if you could elaborate on that more, because I mean, I can't always get to things across the country, and that would be like a really cool, show of your status and everything. But I was wondering if you can elaborate on that more, and what if someone is actually interested in going to something that you can't really get to?
If you put girls on a guest list, they don't need you to walk them in. It doesn't make any difference. Yeah, what I would do is I often invite girls to events I can't go to. The Teatro White Party, I wasn't at it, but I invited 50 girls to that. I got 50. I think I put 50 girls on the list for that, or something like that. Maybe 20. I don't know. When I did that, those girls now have open threads with me. The goal is not to get a bunch of girls. The goal of step 4 is to get a bunch of girls to go with you. The goal of step 3 is to have a bunch of open threads.
So yeah, that I understand that. That's really important. So I definitely should have like an initial contact at that event, right? To like refer them to if they're actually interested in going. Or?
Usually you can just use me. There's very few events that are that high status that I don't have a guest list for, or I don't know who the promoter is. There's very few. I mean, there's a few, but there's very few. Like there's no big parties in LA that don't really involve me or Barry Bly or Sam Rima or Steve Fowler. Like there's very few. Like, so it's not, you're gonna have a hard time. Okay, but I mean, if we're talking about at that level, it's not gonna be that big of a addition. Now, I don't have a connect for like Miami Swim Week. I'll be honest with you. But it would take me 30 seconds to find one, because I would just message the 10 hottest girls I know in Miami and be like, hey, I need a connect for Miami Swim Week. And they'd all send me the same dude in like 30 seconds. It's not hard.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, okay. Because I was thinking that like across the country for events like that would be amazing. And then when you have invites, you're saying we can all go to the bikini competitions in Vegas and everything, and that would be amazing. Are we kind of coming in just like with the general public, or you really want to come to these events?
You'd be GA, unless you like the guys who are in MOA, they get a table. They usually set up a table together. But if you're not with us, then you're probably just going to come GA. I'll still introduce you to everyone. You can take some pictures, have a good time. I recommend everybody just come and have a good time. But usually the guys who are doing the social media boot camp, they're going to have a table there. Not always, but sometimes there. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that would be amazing. Yeah, to come by and meet everyone. Okay. Thank you.
Love it, man. Awesome. Billy. What's your question, Billy? Let's stand by. Unmute.
Yeah. Oh, can you hear me?
You sure can.
I just have a really quick question. So, hey, I started my podcast. I released the first episode today. I have 4 episodes recorded. So I'm just doing like a series. So I'm going to post, I have an AI tool that's making all the reels. I'm going to post reels on my IG. My question for you was, your IG got drowned with reels. Like it's just full of reels. There's very few
photos.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I know exactly what you're going.
Yeah. So how is that going to affect me when I recruit for my events?
You can still pin 3 photos at the top. That's what we did to fix it. That was all.
So I have a red carpet. I have like an event, and I have a picture of me.
Yeah, that's one thing I would do. I will also tell you that having a podcast is a kind of a cheat code, Billy. You're going to notice that girls are all going to say yes to you just because you have a podcast. Also, having a podcast with pretty girls on it is another cheat code, because girls are all like, they all want to go on a podcast. They all sit there and talk to their friends like, yeah, I met John and he just didn't have the right energy that Steve had. And that's, I just feel the energy and the vibe. Girl, we should talk about this on a podcast. Yeah, girl, let's go do that. And so when you message them and you have a podcast, like like girls always respond to me because I have a podcast. Like, it's great. And then there's also really pretty girls on my show. So they're always like, oh, I want to go on your show. I want to tell these bitches what's up. And I'm like, you're a hooker. This happened, real talk, Billy. This happened to me one time and I could not believe, I was laughing my ass off. We're at Access. It was on a Sunday night in the winter, so it wasn't like night swim. And this one girl comes up to me and she's like kind of chunky, and I vaguely remembered who she was. She wasn't that hot, but she was definitely a prostitute. And she goes, you're Michael Sartain. I know who you are. You should have me on these podcasts so I can tell these bitches what's up. And I was just thinking to myself, like, you're a prostitute. Like, you're going to tell these bitches what's up? Like, what are you possibly going to say to them? You bitches need to get your money first. Like, Cardi B gets it right. She goes, I fuck them, then I get the money. No, it's the other way around. You're supposed to get the money first. She's got a bad pimp, obviously. So, like, I just don't, what the fuck are you supposed to do here? Like, it was so funny, but that's another cheat code, Billy. You're going to find that, like, having a podcast with girls on it is a fucking cheat code.
Yeah. So I'm using it mostly to network with guys. Like, my goals have changed and it's working well with the guys.
Yeah, of course.
I'm going to get Patrick on next, hopefully soon. He's senior host at Win.
Okay.
I met him the other day, dude. He's the guy I want to be like. His Instagram's better than Vincent's. I mean, Vincent's is great.
Yeah, right. Perfect.
Some of these guys are just next level. So you think it's gonna be okay if I just keep posting reels?
Yeah, you can. Now, the other option is, if it's not okay, you can post all the reels. You can hide all the reels from your grid. Just have them on your reels tab, and then just keep the photos primary. We were thinking about doing that for a while too, but it's not worth it. Having content up every day is just better. Basically, I've turned my grid into IG story. That's what I've done.
Yeah, that's fair. Cool.
All right. Awesome, man. Thank you, guys. Let's do Dimitar.
Hey, Michael, do you hear me?
Sure can.
Okay, cool. I have a question about the book list. Basically, I started going through the books and I'm wondering if I can do it in a structured way. So do you have any recommendation about what to start from and that sort of stuff?
A book list?
The MOA book list.
Oh, where should you start on the MOA book list?
Yeah.
Let's do this. What's your goal?
What's my goal generally, do you mean?
Yeah. Okay. Do you have I want to make money from home goal? I want to date 3 women at the same time goal. I want to get a 6-pack ab goal. What is the goal, Dimitar? I can already tell you what the first problem is. Dimitar. The first book you should read is The One Thing by Gary Keller, because you can't answer this question.
Okay.
That's the first one. Because you can't answer the question, my answer is going to be start with why. The One Thing by Gary Keller, right? So just try to find motivation. And then I'm going to recommend for you, because I don't feel like you have a ton of confidence on this, is it's going to be Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins. And then I want you to read Extreme Ownership by Jocko Willink.
Okay, I got through the Extreme Ownership and start with Why.
Mm-hmm.
Those were good books.
Good.
The thing is, the thing for me is that I've already went through maybe 5 or 6 on the list, and since they cover very different topics, those that I read, I was wondering if I should be approaching it a bit differently. Yeah.
I don't understand the question. You're asking me if you should read the books in a different order?
Well, I guess my question is, for example, if you are to start MOA now, how
the books are in an order. When you do MOA, you get homework assignments with the modules, so they're in an order.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
I guess I'm curious about the logic behind that.
About the order, because they build on top of each other. How to win friends and influence people is what I need you to understand in order to learn how to break rapport and then to build connections with people. And then later on, like when I recommend Very Important Things by Ashley Mears, you're going to understand those initial concepts, right? We get to, like, if you don't have any idea like how table game works, then once we get to Dan Bilzerian's book, fucking the setup, like a lot of that stuff isn't going to make any sense. So like there's a method to the order that they're in. If you're in the program though.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, makes sense. Thanks.
Okay, Dimitar. James, what's your question? James Ferguson. Oh, stand by, James. 1 second. And James, go ahead.
Okay, there you go. Hello, can you hear me?
Yep, sure can.
Thank you. First of all, good to meet you. I saw you on the Whatever podcast. You, Jay Waller, Rollo, and your girl. I like your takes. I guess my question is, I'm on the free school course. I don't think I'm fully a part of MOA from the way you describe it.
Yeah.
So I want to quickly get your tips on the first step. Like what? Like I know that I need to base my IG off of one of the testimonials, but like
it's if you don't know what you're doing, I would highly recommend you do it off of one of the testimonials. If you, on the other hand, have like a classic custom car shop where you make you do refurbished Corvettes, you don't need to copy one of those things. You need to do that instead. You need to show access to scarce resources. Yeah. If you're a famous photographer, you don't need to do what I'm saying there. Show the photography shit.
So I guess if you naturally have a couple people who are used to the nightlife, if you hop around with them, you can try and do some IG stuff based off of that instead of going through the testimonials.
No, go through the testimonial. From listening to you, I don't think you have a plan. I would go through the testimonials.
Okay.
Yeah. Then when you go through there, then you're going to have the guys on school be like, hey, does this look good? Does this look good? Does this look good? My networking coaches are literally on the school server. They'll tell you if it's good or not. If they tell you it's not good, they're going to tell you why it's not good.
Fair. Okay. I'm not gonna lie. I am fairly nervous coming on to school.
Oh, don't worry about it. But the fact that you're new, I would go with the stuff. Like you can always take everything down on your IG and do it again. It's not a big deal. You probably don't have a ton of followers right now. Don't be worried about it. Just go ahead, do it, fuck up, and then switch it over. But the way to skip the fucking up part is to copy what we're showing on the school server. Understand?
Okay, yeah, I understand. Is there anyone other than one of the Johns that's in the US that I can base it off of?
That's in the US?
Sorry, in the UK. In the UK. I was thinking about the US.
There's a bunch. Will you message John Hindley and ask him? He should know all the UK guys. I'm pretty sure he does.
Okay, yeah.
Awesome. Beautiful.
Cool.
Love it. Let's go. Gerard. And unmute. What's your question, man?
Unmute, check. So as someone that is going down the path of video editing and video production, it's kind of hard to hear the whole there's a near infinite supply overseas of people that can do this for cheap. So context for me is I'm doing an internship as a video editor for a digital media company that essentially makes their money through affiliate marketing. So my question for you is twofold. Number one, where do I pivot if I pivot from specifically video production? For me, media production as a whole is something that I've become very good at, very accustomed to. But if the economics work out that it's just not like it's just not going to make the money, then where in this space would you recommend going? And then the second question would be, how would you maximize an internship at a digital media company?
Yeah. So I used to think about this. I wanted to go work at a radio. If I just didn't care about money and I lived in Dallas and I just like had all the free time in the world, I would go back and work at the radio station that I used to work at back when I was a teenager. It was just fun. I would go back into sports radio. But one of the ways I would want to get on the air somehow, and one of the ways I would get on the air, what do you think I would do? If I was an intern at a sports radio station in 2023 and I wanted to get on the air, what is something I could do on my own? There you go. You got it. I'm shocked. You got it on the first try. That's exactly right. I would start my own podcast and I would try to get my podcast to do better ratings than the fucking radio station did. Okay. I would force them to put me on the air. So that's what you're saying, I would do the same thing. I would start a YouTube channel and I would try to get as much traction on my YouTube channel to where like they start favoring you. The girl who plays Sansa Stark, the one who's married to one of the Jonas Brothers, I forgot what her name is. She was straight up saying, like, before she even got that gig, she was like, it's very clear now that in Hollywood, girls are getting roles based on their social media following. They are. Okay. So what I would do is it's really funny, me having 20 million views on YouTube. You would think because I've invested so much into this line of work that I can't do other jobs. No, dude, anyone will hire me now. Like literally, I could probably go to UNLV right now and be like, hey, can I do your marketing department? They'd be like, they look at my shit and be like, yes, we need help. Yes. Yes, dude, like creating good content and going viral on some platform. TikTok is the easiest one. TikTok, YouTube is the hardest one, right? Facebook, Twitter, whatever. Having a big group on that one platform and then pushing that to other platforms. And then so for me, it's 55 on IG. I only have 6 on Twitter. I don't know what Facebook, how you even count that. I have the 500 friends, or I don't know how that works. Got 108,000 on Instagram, and then 55,000 on, what did I say? 55,000 on YouTube already, right? Yeah, I said that. And then TikTok is 78,000. That's what I have across those platforms. But because it's across all 4 platforms, Jard, when I go, like I'm going to apply, when there's an NBA team here, I'm going to apply to be their announcer. I probably won't get it, but I'm going to have, one of the things in my favor is going to be the social media credibility I have. One of the things working against me, however, is that my social media stuff has lots of fucking shit in it.
All of that makes sense.
So imagine if you were, and it's easier said than done. Imagine if you were, oh God, what's the name? The guy who makes the 10-minute videos and Casey Neistat. Imagine if you were Casey Neistat. You just had awesome video editing ability and you just made these cool vlogs where you went around, or even like Arlen's channel, someone like that. Imagine if you were that guy and then you go work at this media company. They're going to be like, dude, you clearly understand this space better than we do. We're old fucks who don't know what we're doing. We're going to do what you're doing. You would get promoted. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So recap, just because it's how I learned, is basically start my own channel or start some sort of like media presence that in a way flexes what I have to offer in terms of this media space. As far as what the content is, that we figure that out later. But as long as there is something there that builds reputation and what's the word?
Credibility.
Thank you. Yes. Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
Got it. Cool. As far as question 2, how would you maximize being in this internship? Because I made the commitment. I'm not leaving. So
I would maximize being in the internship by learning what everyone does, like going above and beyond, staying after, and then trying to figure out when 50 Cent was waiting for his first album to be produced, he said that instead of negotiating for more money, he said, the only thing I'm asking for is an internship in A&R. So he went and took the internship, learned everyone's position, and now, he's almost a billionaire because of it.
Okay.
Make sense?
That makes sense. Thank you.
Awesome, man. Mark, what's your question, Mark? M-A-R-C, Mark. Stand by, Mark. Unmute yourself, Mark.
Yep, there we go.
What's going on, man?
All right. My only question is if you would have advice on if you are in a different country and you don't speak the language or you're not fluent in the language, how would you go about building lists?
Well, it wouldn't matter. And I would use Google Translate. It's not hard at all. I would just use Google Translate's a fucking amazing. I would use Google Translate, find one girl. So like say, what's the country, you know, South American country, something like that. Where you at?
Mexico City.
Yeah, perfect. Mexico, but there's tons of English speakers in Mexico City, by the way. But what I would do is I would find a friend who's bilingual, and then I'd come up with an invite, and then I make sure it's like worded correctly. And then I would just like have auto responses all for the invite. Like you can save replies, and I would just save them in Spanish. And I would just do it that way. The other thing is you could probably hire VAs who speak Spanish. That's another thing you can do. Not difficult at all. This is a very simple, easy question. Make sense? Somehow you got muted there, buddy. Let's try this again. Go ahead.
It sounds good.
Love it, man. All right, guys. Last few questions here. Let's go to Shane Weeks. Oh, guys, you know, real quick before we go on, because I don't want to like not keep my promise here, because we were supposed to talk about this, but you guys got me off in this direction. I want to pull this up real quick because I want you to see this. Okay. The fucking madness. And I'm probably going to make a YouTube clip out of this. Oh, let's go. No jumper. Where's it at? Where's it at? No jumper posts so much shit. Can you guys find it? Here it goes. Found it. Okay. Before we go on, real quick, I want to make absolutely clear a couple of things. Mark, I'm gonna call on you in just a second here. Okay. Well, before we go forward, I want to make absolutely clear a couple of things. There are women in this country who are being essayed, raped. And you need to, when they talk about that happening to them, you need to take it seriously. Law enforcement needs to take it seriously, but they also need to take it seriously. And when they don't take it seriously, they get in situations like we saw with Amber Heard, where she claims things that aren't true. It sets the whole movement back. What I want is for women should be protected, but it's hard to protect women when they're fucking lying about who they're getting raped by. Does everybody understand? Now, that being said, I want you to look at this. Everybody read up here. The woman who accused Conor McGregor. Can you guys see on the screen? The woman who accused Conor McGregor of rape was seen in the club with him just shortly after she claimed the assault happened. So there she is. Oh, that's her right there. Do you see it? Do you see that there? No, the first 300 pounds of her. Do you see her right there? She's hanging out with him after she was raped. Does everybody see that? Do you understand? So obviously, like clearly Conor McGregor, who could get pretty much every girl she wants. Look at them hanging out together. Do you see that? Oh, and then she's talking to him like, hey, come out, hang out over here after you raped me. You see that? Does that make sense? I want to be careful to not get too angry about this, but that shit infuriates me because I know women who have actually had that happen to them. That's why I'm angry. That's actually why I'm angry. Like, you think so much of little of yourself to get that fat in the first place. Okay, okay. Let's say she's telling the truth. Maybe hanging out with him afterwards might not be the best idea, and then having people film it. You know, the woman who accused Kobe Bryant of the same thing, one of the reasons he got off, whether or not he did it, was because she was bragging to her friends about having sex with him the day after. I don't want to belittle what that thing is. I think these women are belittling it. That's why I'm angry. That's really infuriating to me. If you imagine if you had a daughter or a fucking niece and something like that actually did happen to her, she wasn't lying, but like no one believes her because there's women like this who do this shit. That is fucking infuriating. That's crazy. If you think Conor McGregor is guilty, go ahead and put a 1 in the chat. Just let me know. If you guys think you think Conor McGregor was sitting there and he decided to move from welterweight up to super heavyweight. If you think that's what happened, go ahead and put a 1 in the chat for me. Okay. Got it. Beautiful. Because then I'll understand my audience a little better. Y'all put a 0. That's funny. All right, I didn't want to bring that up. Second thing I want to bring up is this. The whole situation with, did you guys see what happened with Zion Williamson? Zion Williamson is, you know, he posts these pictures of him. He got his girl pregnant. And then afterwards, this just like hardcore Brazzers porn star starts saying, I can't believe you got another whore pregnant. And I'm just like, no, you're the whore. That's his girl. It's really interesting. Like when I watched that, I was like, oh, I get it now. She thinks because a penis went inside of her, she's on the same level with his girl. I'm not mad at Zion. Zion is going to make 50 mil a year if he has a girl, and especially if he doesn't lie to her about it. Say, hey, listen, when I'm on the road, I might do a little this and this whatever. As long as he doesn't lie about it, which most likely he is. And the kid's like 22 years old. Who knows? But the point is, the fact that Zion would have multiple partners doesn't bother me. By the way, that girl he got pregnant isn't even his wife. It's his girlfriend. The problem is the other girl stepping up and being like, I can't believe you got this whore pregnant. No, he's claiming her. She's not the whore. You do video on OF or on Brazzers. And I was just like listening to the delusion of this. And I remember thinking, is this supposed to make Zion look bad? Because I feel like it makes her look bad. You guys should look that one up. And then the third thing I want to talk about is this is a thing that we have to talk about in our company because I don't know what we're going to do about this. And that is the concept that Adam Sosnick lost his Instagram for posting clips of his interview with Andrew Tate. They did not warn him. They just took his account away. There was no warning. And when he tried to appeal it, they said it is permanently disabled. I contacted a few people at Instagram. They told me they couldn't do anything about it. And so now, as somebody where I make more than half my money from organic leads from Instagram, I have to make the decision, can I really, it's not do I want to, can I afford to go to Romania and interview Andrew if he were to allow me to do that? I don't know if I can. I have 17 people that work for us. And it's crazy. And this is a real dilemma. I'm not going to sit here and pretend if there weren't this many people working for me, if it was just me, I would just go do it. But like, if I do this and we lose 2/3 of our income from my Instagram, because our sales team isn't big enough to take on the entire load right now. I'm sorry, not sales team. Our advertising budget isn't big enough to take on the entire load now from organic. Then look how I've screwed us because I went and interviewed Andrew Tate, and then now all of a sudden we've lost our account. But that's ridiculous. I should not have to worry about this. But seeing Adam lose his account, like completely lose it, and that's part of his source of income too, is just really asinine to me. It's like, again, it's the same thing with the woman accusing the dude of rape. It's like you're lying and you're not even, in that case, you're lying. And then Instagram, like you're lying. He did not break terms of service, so you shouldn't be able to take his account. That really bothered me a lot, man. I don't know if you guys have seen that. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? They just took his account and they just said, like, I'm not going to send you guys what he sent me because it's private message. I will tell you, you guys can see his account is gone and it doesn't look like it's coming back. That's really upsetting. And all he did was interview Andrew Tate. He didn't post any crazy. Obviously, he's Jewish. He didn't post any anti-Semitic shit. He posted racist shit. It's crazy. It's unbelievable. So that's really, I text Myron and I told Myron about it. He was like, dude, he was even blown away. All right. Anyway, I just wanted to cover those three things. If you guys want to discuss those and raise your hand and talk about any of those things, but the one with Conor McGregor, bro, that should be a bigger story. That should be 100 times bigger story. That story should be as big as that girl who accused him of that shit. Go back to who was I talking to just a second ago? If you could, what's his name? Could you raise your hand again, man? Damn it. I lost you, man. There's too many people in the thing here for me to find you. All right, we're going to come back to you. It was me. There we go. Shane, got you. Shane, go ahead, add spotlight. And Shane, go ahead and unmute your stuff.
Hey, Michael. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. Real quick, I've been trying to get information about immersion, but I don't know if the site's not working because it doesn't let you schedule a call. And I've emailed.
Okay, so you emailed support and they haven't got back to you?
Yeah, I emailed support and a few other people that I won't drag their name right now, but y'all are busy.
I'm going to handle this right now. Hey, there are guys on the call saying they have tried to book something with support about immersion and no one is getting back to them, period. They said they cannot book a call on the website, period.
It's like the Calendly link. When it goes to the calendar, it says this account isn't active or something. So,
okay, I'm gonna try to handle that for you, Shane.
Cool. Thank you.
Is there anything else? Okay, awesome. Tony, what's your question, Tony? Unmute yourself.
Can you hear me now?
Sure can.
All right. Yeah, my question is, I'm in a rural area and I have a small dating pool. The nearest, I guess, Walmart or movie theater would be about 2 hours away. I'm pretty limber on going to places here and there, which my job takes me town to town. So I work what they call border towns, and it's hard to find like younger, decent women. And I know you can't find good women; you got to make good women. Doing that right now.
You can kind of find them. You can build a funnel for them, but yeah.
It just gets farther and farther though. Now it's like 2 hours, 3 hours away, which I'm not really digging. Other than that, I do really good with my cold game, and then my texting sucks because I'm more of a in-person kind of talker, but my texting game sucks, and I'm too sure how I go about doing that. I had the Instagram last year, but it, for some reason got disabled, so I can't get into that anymore. I don't know if I should just make a new one or.
You lost your Instagram.
Yeah.
Okay, so real quick, Tony, the thing that I'm going to tell you, because I don't know the specifics of your situation, the further you guys are away from like Las Vegas or Miami, the more I'm going to tell you you need to do the first 4 steps in the free course. Okay.
Okay.
Tony, you're 100,000 times more potent with like a really good Instagram when you travel like you do, and then like going around, and then you're doing like, just say you have to travel for work and you're just on their Tinder, Bumble, Hinge, or whatever, and then you could just like jump them over to your IG, and your IG is quality. You're 100 times better off doing that. Okay, Tony, you're going to go to the free school server, and then you're just going to look up. There's a free course, and it's several hours long, and it will go over all the stuff that I'm explaining. Sound good? All right, cool. Let me see. If you guys want to, 1 second. Forum. Tony, it's right there. I just posted it. All right. Let's go to Dax. What's going on, Dax?
Unmute. Okay. Can you hear me clearly?
Sure can.
Okay, awesome. So Gerard, who was just on here, he was the guy who has the internship, and he was basically talking to you about, his thing kind of starting to go out of business. So for me,
sure.
So I can't start my video right now. I cannot.
Okay.
But for me, I was talking about the brand that I built, and I did it separate from me. So there's my personal account, Dax, and then there's the brand business account. If I want to reach out, because I asked you earlier about doing social media, should I reach out to them through that business account? I'm assuming yes, but should I just be like, hey, this is whoever, whatever. Let me talk to you about your social media, this and that, whatever. Like, how should I structure a DM? This isn't about girls. This is about going to businesses and offering basically social media and using my own brand. As its own testimonial.
So here's what I would do that's different from everyone else. I'm sick and fucking tired of people messaging me trying to fix my social media, and their social media is shit. So what I would do is your account needs to look pristine, 1, and number 2, when you send the message, instead of the 10 paragraph really annoying message people send like a 1 or 2, like a 1 paragraph message, and then photographs of like before and after. Does that make sense? Like 2 photos that show before and after. This is how we helped him.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Okay, so how it used to look, how my Instagram, or how the brand's Instagram used to look.
So you're going to need testimonials. You're going to need someone that you helped. I would not hire you if you told me, oh yeah, I'm your first client. You don't know what you're doing. How the fuck, why would I help you? You need to find a client that you work on for free. You fix his stuff, and then you show like a before and after. This is what his account looked like before. This is what it looked like after. And those are the photos. You have like a split screen on the first photo, and the second one is just like really cool content you make, or maybe like a video. Show them. Don't talk about it. Show them.
Okay. So show them out, and then just pretty much. Okay, yeah. So basically, what you're saying before, just talk less, show more. Talk less, show more. Even applying to this as well.
Yes.
Okay. Last thing. There must be a thing, I guess, a difference between like Tinder and Instagram. You know how we say like fix my Instagram and stuff like that.
Yeah.
How are pictures different on Tinder than Instagram? Because the faraway shots, I guess they don't really do it on.
They don't do as well. You can still use them, but your first photo on Tinder needs to be a close-up. It's different. They're there to get penis. So it's a different thing. They're there to get penis. If you go on a gay man's Grindr account, they're close-up shots. So they're there to get penis also. That's why their photos look different. Women are not going to your IG like, man, let me go through IG so I can find some penis. That's not how they do it. But they're going they're on IG to find some status. And then, well, how do I get the status? Well, maybe this is the guy's penis I want. Does that make sense? It's a little bit more indirect way to get there.
Do you have is there like, how you have the 30 Instagram testimonials? Is there one for like Tinder, like good Tinder stuff like that, or not really?
No, there's a ton of people with a ton of products on this. I don't know. I would look that up. That is not my expertise. I don't use dating apps. So that is not my expertise. Like, to me, if I'm having to use a dating app, that means I'm not.
Check out Webman Plus on Instagram. Check out Webman Plus and Playing with Fire on Instagram.
Yeah. The other issue that I have is that the women on Instagram tend to be kind of hideous, and the really hot ones are just there because they're trying to get you on their OnlyFans. So I've just sort of given up on that. I just find it to be like a wasteland. But I mean, you're super bored and you're fun, or you just got back from a 10-month deployment in Iraq, then I would use it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's it.
Nice. Let's keep going. Let's do 1 second. Let's do Joshua. Joshua.
Hey.
What's going on,
Mike.
Joshua?
I'm at the gym right now, so I do apologize for the background noise.
Okay.
But Michael, I really appreciate the content you've been putting out.
Okay.
I like how very direct you are and very intelligent you are. The way you explain things makes sense. But one question. So I want to get into real estate. I think right now currently
want to get into what?
Real estate.
Okay.
I want to start investing in real estate.
Sure.
I currently live in Sacramento. I work for Mercedes-Benz of Toronto Hills. So I have a high income job, but I want to be able to invest in a place that's not in California because everything's so expensive. But I also want to build a social life there. Is there any city that, other than Las Vegas, that you would recommend me kind of looking into?
Orange County, somewhere in Orange County, and then San Francisco. I'm sorry, San Diego. Orange County and San Diego. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I'm gonna move my life around. I mainly stay here because my dad was really sick. He passed away a couple of days ago. So now
I'm sorry.
New chapter in my life,
Yeah, no, I understand.
But
I had the exact same thing happen to me, and then I moved to Vegas.
Got it. Well, that's it. I do appreciate that. So Orange County, you said, and then San Diego.
Orange County and San Diego. Yep.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. I'm looking to it. Thank you.
All right, man. James Hallman, what's your question, James? Let's go. What's the question, James?
Hey, boss, can you hear me?
Yep.
Really quick. Recently, me and a couple other MOA guys down here in LA have been doing a lot of photo shoots. And we've been having pretty good luck. And I'm thinking of, I want to start trying to get some sponsors on our photo shoots, but it's something that's completely new to me. I've never done anything like this before. What tips or what resources do you think I should reach out to as far as building like a pitch for a sponsor, things like that?
Yeah. So the pitch isn't really what's important. So it's going to be, again, we're going to go back to this thing before. Everyone sees pitches. A pitch for, hey, I have this pitch for a party with a bunch of hot girls. you wouldn't do that. But if they showed you pictures of hot girls, you would be like, okay, I'll come, right? Nobody has to, like, I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan. I don't receive like a PDF from the Dallas Cowboys every year explaining their business plan. I'm just like, oh, they're the Cowboys. I can see them. So James, here's what I would do. If you want to have a pitch, that's fine. Number one, all the girls that are in your group, they're the ones who should be helping you figure out what sponsors to get. Okay. And number two, your pitch needs to be 90% photos and videos and 10% pitch. Okay. The third thing I'm going to tell you, James, is the ROI on a photo shoot is so low. You're going to get guys to sponsor you maybe 1 or 2 events, and then they're going to drop out. The whole getting people to sponsor photo shoot thing is something people have been trying for the last decade. It's just not a viable business model. Not that I've seen. Even Paradise Challenge, you have to pay them to go, and they have tons of sponsors.
Gotcha.
Yeah. The other thing is, but the sponsor thing is better than the charge thing. Like Barbie Hayden was doing, her and her boyfriend Kellen were doing these shoots where they were charging girls and guys to come. And I was like, it's not a good idea, guys. Don't charge girls. Yeah, it's not a good idea.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's what I would tell you.
All right.
Sound good?
I appreciate it. Thanks. Yep.
Nice. Ice White, what's going on, Ice? Stand by. Unmute. Go ahead.
Oh, there we go. And yeah, I was just going to say, the channel on YouTube that had the Andrew Tate interview, they got something like 400,000 new subscribers. So although there's the risk of Instagram, it's just worth watching what YouTube does. YouTube still has it there, but yeah, just for huge surge of
they can't take it down, and they can't take PBD down either, because I think PBD has a million subs or a million followers on Instagram, so they can't take him either. It's just too much. It would just make too much noise. The thing with Sosnick is he only had 100,000. Yeah, it's really bad. Like, it's like if you get big enough, they can't really take you. But I think it's going to be, I really wish the mainstream media would pick up this Sosnick thing. I think it's a really big thing. Yep.
Yeah, if you just fuck around with mass media corporations like BBC or something, that's definitely going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. But there's nothing like Andrew was for an Andrew Tate interview. I'm going to tell you that was not super controversial. He was saying I was locked up and I wasn't charged. There weren't a lot of things where he was saying that were very controversial. The BBC was out to get him. Who didn't think that? Okay. Like, he wasn't saying, like, it was very entertaining and it was great to hear him. It was great to hear him in higher spirits after being in jail. But in comparison to some of the things he'd previously said, that's like a 5 out of 10 as far as the controversy, not as far as like how important the information was. I thought it was very important information, but like for them to take down Sosnick was bullshit.
Yeah,
it was crazy. Yep. All right. Yeah, man. How to create a social circle. Hey, RJ, if you want to ask that question, I'll give you like 1 second here real quick. If you want to create a social circle in Miami, because there's like hardly any girls in Miami. I don't know how you'd be able to do that. RJ, just raise your hand, guys. Again, go down to the bottom where it says reaction and then just raise your hand. Billy said cocaine. I love it. All right, guys, let me go for a couple things. If there's any more questions, there's RJ. There he is. RJ, go ahead. Ask your question, man.
My question is, how do you start creating a social circle in Miami?
Love it. All right. So the answer is this. Number one, if you were going to pick a city to create a social circle in, Miami would be in my top 2 or 3 cities on earth. And so it's actually going to be easier there than other places. The second thing I'm going to tell you is that I have a full free program on School. I just posted it in the chat. Do you see the chat, RJ?
Yeah.
It says it's School / Men of Action free. If you click on that, you're going to join the School server. There's a free course that you can take that is going to tell you 4 steps on how to do exactly what you just asked me. And step number 1 is going to be to fix your social media. That's going to be the easiest way to do it. I don't know how familiar you are with me or the people in this group, but our social media is the thing that sort of, it's not like we're not social media gurus in the sense that like we get a bunch of people to follow us. But what we do is that when we meet people or if we're trying to invite people to events, as long as our social media is like partially decent, right? Hey, I want you to come to do this bikini competition. When the girls see this, they're far more likely to say yes. Does that make sense, RJ?
Yeah.
Like a photo like this, so that has social proof, is going to do a lot to help me get other people to join my social circle. Make sense?
Yeah. Thanks.
Step number 1 is build your is fix your Instagram. Step number 2 is build your list. Step number 3, find 6 events to invite people to. Step number 4, take 6 girls to those events. Got it?
Got it. Thanks.
Love you, man. I love it. Thank you so much, brother. Manny, what's your question? Unmute. Go ahead, Manny.
Yo, yeah, it's just with you, like with the speaking on camera, is there anything like in the free course or anything that like that'd help me with speaking on camera?
Speaking on camera. The main thing I'm going to tell you for speaking on camera is the main thing I'm going to tell you if you want to get better at bench press. What am I going to tell you, Manny, if you want to get better at bench press?
You lift more weight.
You got to lift more weight, but do you need to do it some of the time, or do you need to do it every fucking day?
Every fucking day.
Okay, so I like to get a little caffeinated before I go on these calls. That's one thing. I like to have really good light, because when you look good, you feel good. And when you feel good, you play good. And when you play good, they pay good. So that's what the other thing I would tell you is have a setup to where you feel like you look better. Okay? And then the other thing is slow and loud. Slow and loud. This is an auto thing on my microphone. I have a channel. What's it called? I forgot what the thing is called right here. But if I talk too loud, it'll just auto lower my voice. So talk louder. Feel free. Manny, what you're when you say I'm having trouble talking on camera, what you're saying is I'm having trouble giving myself permission to be expressive on camera. That's what you're actually saying. So how do we get better at that? We get better with immersion, meaning we do it a lot. How do we get better at it? We get better by choosing a lower tonality, and we get better at it by giving ourselves permission to talk louder. And the fourth thing, we need to watch ourselves on camera and critique ourselves frequently. One thing that I teach in this course that I've never heard anyone else teach is watch yourself on camera. I recommend all of you in this course watch yourself on camera. If all you guys wanted to do was start your own Zoom calls on your own and do a thing where like there's 10 of you on there and each one of you gives a 5-minute speech and then watch yourself on camera, then that's what you fucking need to do. But watch yourself on camera. That has helped me immensely with my delivery.
Cool. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Got it. Thank you, guys. One last thing before we go. For those of you, there is no excuse. For those of you who are not in MOA, can you put a 1 in the chat? If you're not in Men of Action currently, can you put a 1 in the chat? If you're not in Men of Action. Okay, good. Man, I'm so happy when we get to, get connected to other people. If you're not in Men of Action and you want to learn more about Men of Action, we have a free school server. I just posted it in the chat there. I'll post it one more time because somebody else posted something. Here we go. Post it one more time. And for those of you who are on, there's a free school server. And also when we go on, those of you watching on YouTube, you check on YouTube, you are also on the free school server on YouTube as well. You guys can check it out there. If you guys are interested, make sure you click on the free school server. You can go on there. There's 1,100 guys in there right now, and they will help you with things like, here's the book list. Okay, here's the free course. Here is the 30 Instagram testimonials that you can get. Right, all those things that are on there, and also a schedule of everything. So for instance, next Thursday is going to be Access Vegas, the bikini competition. All those things will be in the calendar on the free school server. Furthermore, when you do stuff to fix your Instagram, there's going to be guys on the free school server that'll say, this is good and this is bad. So you're going to get a lot of help. As iron sharpens iron, so to man sharpens other man. And that's what we're going to show you in this in the free school server. Okay. If you guys are interested more and you want to get involved with Men of Action, period, you just want to say, fuck the school server and I want the program because I want to, I want all 114 modules. I want all the one-on-ones with Michael Sartain. Cool. Just go ahead and click that link right there. You click that link, you will get, is that right? Hold on. No, I picked the wrong one. There it is. If you want to do that, go ahead and click that link right there for those of you on YouTube, and you guys can just join Men of Action. Set up a call. You can join us anytime you want. I appreciate all of you staying on here. One more time, thank you guys for the 20 million views on YouTube. Incredible. 38 million views on TikTok. About 2.4 million on Instagram a month is what I'm getting. And so I really want to say I appreciate that, guys. The company has been growing massively I'm happy that the company is growing massively, obviously, because it's my company, but I'm also happier that it's growing massively because that means I get to hire more of you. I've told you this before. One of the things we love about in this company, it's funny, it's something that I wanted to do. And Cole Gordon also told me it was a good idea. And so did Adam Lyons. We want to hire you guys to work for us. It's really important. We want to hire you guys. Now, who do we hire? Usually we hire guys who've gone through the entire course. They go through the course, and after they're done with the course, then they're like, hey man, I think I have enough expertise in this to sell it. And that's generally like, if we were going to pick from different pools of people who've already taken the course are by far the most likely ones that we're going to hire. Okay. Beautiful. A couple more things before we go. Coming up this week, there's no podcast on Wednesday because I have some interviews I have to do. So I have to do a podcast tomorrow that I'm doing. I'm doing an interview for someone tomorrow, another interview on Wednesday. So I don't have time to do a podcast this week. On Thursday, we got the call for immersion for those of you who are jumping on there. And then Friday, I'm interviewing Mike Rashid. On Saturday, it's going to be the last day of immersion. So I'm going to be coaching. We're having our first ever Vegas immersion basketball tournament. It's a 5-on-5 half court because you guys are in terrible fucking shape. It's a 5-on-5 half court game that we're going to be playing. It's a full half court. Like it's half of an 84-foot court with a 3-point line and everything. And so we're going to do 2 half courts at the same time. And then the winners, they're going to play against each other and the losers are going to play each other. Then we're going to start over, redraft, and we're going to do it again. We're going to play you're going to play 4 games of basketball, but we're only going to play to like 5 or 6. It's not a big deal. And then afterwards we're going to talk because it's a full half court. Exactly. I love you guys competing. I don't give a shit if you're bad at basketball. If you're bad at basketball, it's actually going to help you more to do this. It's about the lessons. It's not really about playing basketball. It's actually, we just use the basketball as like a teaching tool, but the guys love it. It's one of their favorite parts of MOA is the basketball games we play on Saturday. That's on Saturday. And then on Monday, I'm going to be interviewing, what's her face? Her name is Violetta Benson. She's Daddy Issues. And then on Wednesday, I'm either most likely I'm going to interview Bradley. I may be interviewing Robert Kiyosaki. We have to figure out the times there. Thursday, the following Thursday, which will be the 29th, will be Access Vegas. And then the 30th is going to be the bikini competition. Guys, you're all allowed to come to the bikini competition. If you're in MOA, you're also allowed to come to the studio when we film Access Vegas. If you just want to help out and meet all the girls, we have 10 girls and 2 guys in the studio. You guys are welcome to come anytime. And if you want to recommend girls for Access Vegas, you're also allowed to do that. But main thing I want to make sure that we do is we do for you guys is for all of you to understand that you should be on that free school server. So hopefully, as soon as I get off here, I'm going to approve all you guys to join our free school server. And then from that point on, it's super easy. Every time I go on a podcast, it's going to show up there. Every time we have an event, it's going to show up there. And I really appreciate all the support you guys have given me. Is the other thing, man. This is Bitcoin at $5. If you haven't figured it out, this thing is growing really fast that we're doing. And the reason why it's growing so fucking fast is because what we teach here, it is so devastatingly effective. This is something I've worked on for 25 years. I've been coaching this for 14 years, but I've only had a business doing this for 2. This is Bitcoin at $5. When I love the fact that I'm able to come on here and do a 2.5-hour call with you guys. Hopefully I can do this forever. Maybe at some point I can't. So it's really important to me that you guys get in soon. There's some guys, we had a lifetime deal for guys. We don't have it anymore. 2 years ago, we had like, if you paid this much, you got a lifetime deal. There's a bunch of guys in the alumni program. They're like happy as shit they paid for the lifetime deal. They get MOA forever now. They're so fucking happy about it. Because and you know what happened to all those guys? They all became my coaches. Godwin, fucking Anthony DeRico, the guys who were originally with us, they're not my coaches. So if you want to be part of this structure, I'm telling you, is this for everyone? I don't know if this is for everyone. I think if you're a little bit of a bitch and you don't like to take responsibility for your own actions and you don't want to do work, this is probably not the right program for you. Also, if you can't take constructive criticism and you like to cry a lot, this is probably not the program for you. But for the rest of you, I think this program is good for you. Okay, we got 2 more questions, and then we're going to wrap up. Blake, go ahead. Blake, what's your question? Got to unmute yourself, Blake. Go ahead.
There we go. Hey, Mike. How's it going? Love your stuff. Been watching it for almost a year now.
Okay.
Man, awesome book list. Really, really like it. Really extensive, to be honest. A lot of different topics. I love that because I read a lot of different topics, but I wanted to narrow down some reading top 5 female nature books. I was looking at some of David Buss's, but if you have any specific ones that I can plan out for my next reading, if you would say.
Yeah, I would say the second Rollo Tomasi book would be number 1. Preventative Medicine, I think. Is that the right one? Yeah. I would say the second is probably number 1. He would probably say that's the number 1 also, because the first book is actually a collection of posts that he did, and the second book is the first book. So I would say the Preventative Medicine would be number 1. Okay. We're going to disagree. Rollo and I disagree with this. I love the book Mate with Tucker Max and Jeffrey Wilson. I love that book. The other one would be Rich Cooper's the Unplugged Alpha. And then I would say Unplugged Alpha, I quote from that book all the time. Then I would say Why Women Have Sex, and I would say The Evolution of Desire.
Awesome. Yeah. Why Women Have Sex and Evolution of Desire are definitely on my list. Those look like the stats that you plugged from those books. It just seems awesome. Just like the original Evolutionary Psychology. Awesome book. Fantastic. One of the best psychology books, if not I've ever read. Also, Mindset by Carol Dweck. Really good psychology book, but maybe less dating related. But okay. Yeah, thank you. So that was Mate, Unplugged, and then the 3 others that you mentioned as well. What were those again? Sorry.
You can go back on YouTube and just watch this whole thing again. Just FYI.
Okay, I'll do that.
It's the Why Women Have Sex by David Buss and Sydney Messon. It's going to be Evolution of Desire, and then it's going to be Mate. It's going to be the second Rollo Tomasi book, and what was the other one I said?
I think Unplugged.
Alpha, the Unplugged Alpha by Rich Cooper.
Okay, awesome.
Thank
you so much.
Very nice. Matt Honan, what's your question, Matt? You're unmute yourself.
Hi, Michael. My first question was going to be the book list. I'll probably never watch your YouTube again now that I know where all your books are listed. I probably read already half of them already. This is more of a professional question. And I've had women ask me this too. How, and you can channel Kevin Samuels for this, please. How do you get women to answer yes or no questions with yes or no answers?
Yeah, you just move on to the next woman, and then they come back and they're like, okay, I'll do what you want. Matt, like trying to use logic, because what'll happen is the more you try to use logic to pin them into the correct thing you want, they're just gonna push back harder. Because the point is for them to not give a yes or no answer, or the point is for them to defeat your gambit. The point for them is to not play the game that you're asking. And that's the reason why you're not going to get the yes or no answer. So instead, the answer is to move on.
This is more like you interview women. This is like in a professional, not a game situation. This is you're talking to a woman like as part of business, and you're trying to conduct business, and 20 minutes later they still haven't.
So you form it again. It's like, so your answer is this, and then they go yes or no, and then for the this, and they're like, oh well, it's to be fair, Matthew, if you talk to a defense attorney, he's going to do the same thing. Right. So it's like, if someone doesn't want to give you a yes or no answer, I don't know that necessarily matters that they're a woman. And I don't know, you can't make someone say yes or no. So I don't know if there's really an answer to that. This is the first time I've ever had anyone ask this question. For me, though, when people don't want to give me the information I want, then I just move on. Because it's like this is the thing, Matthew, and I don't know if this is what you want to hear, but this is the main thing I teach people. One of the main things, I reward good behavior and I punish bad behavior. If you just think about it like that, instead of what people try to do is change bad behavior. When you have kids, you have to do that. But for the best way to create the reality you want is when you reward good behavior and you punish bad behavior. A girl has done a nice thing for you. So for instance, your girl wants you to spend more time with her and she's good to you, you should spend some more time with her. If she's bad to you, then she needs to work more for your attention, because you reward good behavior and you punish bad behavior. If I'm asking you direct questions and you don't have enough respect for me to answer them properly, then that's bad behavior. So I just move on to the next person. Make sense? Sorry, one more time. You don't need to mute yourself, but go ahead.
But this is like, for example, you're interviewing somebody. This is like
I interview people all the time.
Situation.
Yeah, I do it every day.
Just ignore them, like, because it's
Just move on. Just move on to the next one. It's like, oh, okay. Well, so it's a yes or no question. I'm just curious. Do you have a yes or no answer? And they'll be like, no. Well, okay, cool. So that's not okay. Sounds good. I just move on to the next one.
Okay, because I'm working.
There's no way to make people do anything.
It's just I work in healthcare and trying to get. A lot of times you're on a truncated timetable and getting them to like, okay, we need to move this along.
So then if that's so, this is a very different thing that you're asking me. In that case, you say this must be a yes or no answer.
Okay.
Or what the judge does with a hostile witness. Please answer yes or no. So you say, just FYI, these need to be yes or no answers, and then ask the first question. Okay. Well, I mean, I sort of cheated on my husband, but it was fine because he didn't use a condom, but he pulled out. Is that like the kind of shit you get when you work at healthcare? They like lie about cheating. Yeah, of course. No, it doesn't matter, dude. Like you can. What I would do is say this has to be yes or no answer. And by the way, this is your health we're talking about. It has to be yes or no answer. That's what I would say. Okay.
And I understand. It's just like you said. You have to get them to refocus, and many times as they keep going off track, and you're like, "Look, we need this back on track," and they keep going off the rails.
Yes. Yeah, that is often the problem. They just keep going off the rails.
Thank you.
All right, man. Good question. Good question. All right. One last time, guys. If you have not joined, please go ahead and click the link right there to join us on the school server. And for those of you on YouTube, same thing. Click that right there to join us on the school server. Like I said before, I know he said that he wasn't going to like watch my stuff anymore after this because he knows what my stuff is. Listen, I promise you might actually want to check out my YouTube. It's pretty interesting. I have a pretty interesting YouTube, Matthew. There's some stuff like this on there. It's pretty good. All right, guys. For the rest of you, I will hopefully see you soon. For those of you, if you join MOA tonight or tomorrow, like you can literally be on the call tomorrow. So set up a call. Hopefully we'll see you guys soon. Tuesday, for all of you who are in MOA, I'm going to see all you guys tomorrow. On Thursday, I'm going to see you guys in the alumni program. Sunday is going to be the coaches call. And then the following Tuesday,